All right, welcome everybody. This is March Art Madness 2021. This is our global art tournament where artists around the world get to go mano a mano against each other to see who can win an entire collection of art supplies. We're talking tablets, we're talking markers and pens, and we're talking this year a professional art contract with a video game company. That's right, folks. March Art Madness 2021 has an excellent package for any up and coming artist to have a chance to advance their career in the art space. And of course, the world's toughest art tournament only exists from the mind that brought you Saturday AM, the world's most diverse manga brand. My name is Frederick. I'm the founder and publisher of Saturday AM. And I'm so honored today that tonight for round one, this is going to be the review for round one, we're actually going to have a chance to talk to a number of great judges who will be able to give you their thoughts on each of the pieces of art. So I want to start off with our very first judge tonight. You know him as the Joker of Alabama. His name, or Georgia, sorry, his name is Jay Oden. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. Alabama.
I know.
I'm doing pretty
Georgia.
well. I'm doing pretty well.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Jay, of course, is the creator of Hammer, which is one of the hit series of Saturday AM. You guys can check it out in, of course, our magazine and digital app. Jay's also the creator of a brand new graphic novel from Oni Press called Lemonade Code. It is fantastic, folks. It's perfect for young adult and young adult readers for graphic novels. Check it out. It's from Oni Press. You can find it at your local bookstore, library, and so on. Next up, we have one of our most exciting new creators, very young man, very talented young man. He is working on a brand new series for us called Change the World. You will see that very soon. It will hit into a brand new app that we're launching. We'll provide more details of that a little bit later. But first and foremost, please welcome our new judge, one of our new artists, Michael, aka Monitor Comics. How you doing, Michael?
Thank you for the warm welcome, Fred. I'm doing great. Very excited to be here.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're glad to have you here as well. Very exciting, young man. It's got a great YouTube channel too, guys. You got to check it out. It's called Monitor Comics. Our last judge is a man who needs no introduction except for when I give it to him. It is the one and only White Manga. He is the creator of the hit series Apple Black. You all know Apple Black is one of the most popular independent manga in the world. It's, of course, one of the big series for Saturday AM. White also has a YouTube channel I'm sure you guys all know. White is a co-founder of Saturday AM, and he is here today to give you guys his thoughts on upcoming art. How you doing, White?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the warm welcome. And happy to be here. Can't wait to dive into the art.
Excellent. And then last but not least, I'm going to give a shout out to two people who are always fantastic. They are actually helping us put everything together for this broadcast. They are Chris, who is going to be handling a lot of the background work. You guys won't see Chris, but I can tell you that Chris is awesome. He is producing some great stuff for us, for some videos you guys will see. He also has a fantastic comic, and we will talk about that a little bit towards the end of the broadcast. And likewise, we have Jackie Rindy, who works with us a lot on our PR. She's helping to do a lot of organization for this year's March Art Madness, as she did last year. And we've been very excited to have Jackie and her husband actually help us with these broadcasts. So I want to welcome all of the folks who are helping us put on this broadcast. Now, there may be some technical issues. You may not see it quite the way we had intended it. And if that's the case, don't worry. This broadcast will be available for you to stream at a later date. Of course, what makes this broadcast so special is that we are going to give our thoughts live on the entries of this year's first round of March Art Madness. Now, before we begin, let's talk quickly about Saturday AM. And you guys are like, hey, so tell us more about you guys. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you guys all about Saturday AM. And so the key thing with that is we make diverse manga magazines. So if you guys have seen the great content that happens in Japan, of course, we all love manga and anime. You know that they tend to not have the level of diversity that we all experience in our own daily lives. And we have sought to change that. So 2013, we've launched the Diverse Manga Revolution. Many folks today are now participating in that. But when we started back then, people laughed at us, folks. They thought the idea of diverse manga was crazy. And now here we are with over 130 issues of our flagship magazine called Saturday AM, featuring shonen style content, popular series like Apple Black, Hammer, Clock Striker, Master Multiplayer World of Ghosts, Bully Eater, Soul Beat, and Crunch Time. We also have Saturday PM, which is for more mature readers who love content, for example, that we consider seinen or older male titles. We have a incredible group of young artists in that magazine from all over the world. We have creators from Italy like Valeria Fidanza, who's doing Incarnate, to Senegal, a young man named Papsule Fall, who's doing Oblivion Rouge, as well as New York, J.R. DeBard with his series Underground, and last but not least, but there's far more than this, but the last one I can mention right now off the top of my head is the very wonderful new artist Venus Bambiza out of South Africa. You can see his series here on the cover of Saturday PM called Revolver Kiss. The last series we have is called Saturday Brunch, and it is a wonderful magazine. New issue will be coming out very soon, in fact, this week, and it features LGBTQ and josei. So josei is older female readers. This magazine caters to amazing content. Doesn't matter what your sexuality is or what your gender is, but it's great content for people who do want to see more titles featuring female protagonists or LGBTQ protagonists. We have hit series like Henshin from the UK, Mitch Proctor. We have Gunhild from the Denmark or Danish creator Fred Torniger. We have Killshot from the Hungarian creator Andrea Doni. Grimheim from the German creator Christina Andebach. And we're about to launch a new series called Zephyr from Bahamian creator Stan Russell. So we're really excited for the amazing creators we have from all around the world. That's what you get with our branded magazine. And Saturday has been around for such a while. We even have toys. You can buy our toys right now at from Jabberwocky Toys. They actually made these toys. They did the license for Saturday AM. These are collectibles, very similar to what you would find with Funko Pop. These have a really cool feature where they kind of twist and bobble. Really, really cool toys. Our artists like White Manga and Raven Brown and Oscar Fong actually helped design these first three figures. You can find these at hottopic.com, so please check those out. We also have a physical magazine coming out. It is called Super Saturday. It will feature all original content from creators around the world, including our first big crossover with all of our characters. Something that's not really been done in manga before, and we can't wait for you guys to see it. We've had a couple of issues in trying to get everything situated. It's our first big print operation, but we're really excited for it. You guys will be really excited when you see it. Last but not least, we have our app, and if you really want to get into the Saturday AM Diverse Manga Revolution, that means you want to have our app. You can get that at www.saturday-am.com/app. You can find it also on the app stores for Apple and Google. Unfortunately, Amazon has restricted apps that feature content that I guess they'd like to sell. But with our app, there's a lot of free issues in there. You also can subscribe for a low rate, $3.99 per month, and unlock all of our back issue catalog, including a way to follow the series that run regularly inside of the magazines directly. So if you don't want to have to hunt for chapters of Apple Black like you would have to hunt for chapters of, Boruto or Black Clover or whatever series you're into inside of a issue of Shonen Jump or V Jump, then you could just get the graphic novels, or you could, have the chapters independently. We have the same thing in our apps. You can enjoy that today. Please check out our app at www.saturday-am.com/app. All right, let's talk about March Art Madness. This is a gigantic global tournament where artists around the world go mano a mano. That means that it's one artist versus another artist each round. We give them a theme. They have to draw that theme. So, for example, if the theme is Batman, you could draw the Batarang. You could draw a 1940s Bob Kane Batman. You could draw a 1980s Frank Miller Batman. You could draw Robin, Catwoman, Joker. You could draw the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. But you got to draw something related to Batman. The other artist has to do the same thing. And, of course, they have all the options that you have. So it becomes a question of who has the more talent, who has the more creativity and ingenuity, who has the better organization. Because we let you know on Monday what you're drawing. You got to get us your content by Thursday night, and then Friday, voting begins, and you, the viewer, get to determine who will win this round. Now, our judges also play a big role in that, and that's why we're so excited to have Michael, Monitor Comics, Odunze, White Manga, and Jonathan, aka Jo, here to be judges for this first round. Now, all these 64 artists were divided into teams. This is another little bragging right, is what team will produce this year's winner? Well, again, you guys can help us find out by voting, but we're going to find out tonight what we think, and we're going to start with Team Apple Black based on our hit series by White Manga. So, White, before we begin, you've seen these entries, I take it, right?
Yeah, I've seen them.
And so, you pretty excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty gung ho. I've seen the entries on the categories of Team Apple Black. I've seen all the entries from all the teams. I think there's some pretty talented people in there.
Very good. And talk to me then in relationship to, so White, you obviously have a huge fan base. We had 3 people in your group, White, that didn't submit art this week, White. So, I'm gonna blame you for that one. I feel like you could have given them some more love. You could have shown out for them. So
I think with the prizes that are on the line, if you want them, come get them. Those who really want them, they'll be involved and they'll do what they need to do to win, and enjoy the experience of March Art Madness. You don't even need to pursue much.
Well, that sounds like a real motivation talk right there. Jay, on the other hand, has been hyping his group up like crazy. Jay, it's his first time having a group in the 6 years we've done March Art Madness. Jay, you've had a number of people. You only had one person to get their artwork in, but you were able to come in and really, get your folks excited. They've been promoting their stuff. A lot of them have filled out surveys. What's been your secret, Jay? Did you play Terry Ford for him? What did you do?
You know what? That's what I'm gonna do next week. I think that'll help him out. But no, I just drew a picture and just kept on telling them go Team Hammer. I'm actually really excited. For my team. I guess we'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's gonna be awesome.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna start with Team Apple Black. Now, again, we had 3 folks who didn't submit their stuff in time, so there will be 3 people who will go through. But we're still gonna talk about the art because anything can happen, as you guys know. If you've seen the previous years, anything can happen. We've had artists who come in and they tear it up the entire tournament and then just kind of phone it in the last week and lose. We've had other artists who came from nowhere and just completely decimated everybody and pulled out the win. So anything can happen. This is just the first round. Let's begin with Apple Black. Now, the theme here is Street Fighter. Now, it's actually fighting games. So the theme here is Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or King of Fighters. But the idea was you had to put fighting game characters in some type of conflict. Now, again, people can do it any way they want to. We're going to see the results of that today. Let's begin with Young Webb versus Eon Hades. Eon Hades, I guess is how you say it. So we'll start with Young Webb. He has Ryu versus Ken. Let's start with Michael. What did you make of this, Michael?
I like the composition. It's like very 2D, like reminiscent of the actual fighting games. So I think that's cool. I do think there's a little bit of awkward cropping on the legs on the left and the bottom side. But overall, I think it's rendered pretty well.
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think the color looks pretty cool, but overall, it's just the poses that look that really do it for me. So
That really do it for you in terms of what?
Yeah, the pose itself, I like the action. That's what makes me like this image. So
I see. Okay, all right. White, what do you say, sir?
Yeah, I think like everybody says, I think overall it's good. Really good stuff. You can see the effort on the clothing, the folds, and all that. Some of the anatomy issues and even like the muscle structure could use a little more work, but you can really like the effort in there. and I like the coloring a lot. And like I said, the 2D composition is pretty reminiscent of the video game, so that's pretty cool. So overall, really strong image, and I can tell that they're going for it.
So yeah, I thought this was a really strong image. Obviously, as everyone said, there's some anatomy issues here, but still, there's some things I like a lot. I mean, you can feel the punch, even though there's some anatomy things there. You can still feel the punch. I think the blood is a really nice choice. I even love how they handle the splatter. I mean, sometimes splatter can people think it's random, but there has to be some science to it, some logic to it. I think the splatter is actually really good. Some of the folds I like in the clothes as well. I think it's a good image. I like the color. I think it's a really strong image. Next up, we have Hades, and he's got Ryu versus, I think it's Kyo from King of Fighters. So once again, Michael, thoughts?
I like the colors right here with the fire and Ryu's Hadoken. That's what it's called, right? But yeah, I think the effects are what's selling it for me here. I think the perspective could use a little bit more work, but overall, it's a cool piece.
Jay, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I agree. The color is by far my favorite in this entire piece. I also like how Ryu's headband is kind of blurred in the background. Overall, if they were to add more background or maybe speed lines, I think it probably would have been a little bit better. Maybe hide some of the faults with the, posing and all that. But overall, I like this image a lot.
White, what about you?
I like the attempt here to try to do something a little different in a more dynamic 3-dimensional sense. I like the muscle structure here is better, and the effects I think are really good. So overall, I think it's another strong image. Again, there's improvements. The improvements can be made here and there, maybe the facial expressions or things like that. But overall, I think it's a pretty decent image, pretty strong. Both guys are go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this case, I'm with what everyone said. I like the fact that they even attempted this perspective. No, they don't pull it off entirely, but they attempted it. That's really impressive to me. I do like the effects as well. I think that flame effect is actually really nice, and I also like the swirls. I don't think I've ever seen the Hadoken presented quite that way, but I do like it. So it's a strong piece for me. So all right. So then here's the question: Young Web or Hades. So I'm gonna go on the list. You guys tell me who you voting for. So Michael, which one?
I'm going Young Web.
Young Web for Michael. Jay Oden, who you going for?
Hades.
Hades. White, who you going for?
Go Eon. Close.
Hades. All right. And I'm going with Young Web. So it's 2 for Young Web, 2 for Hades. Folks, remember, you can vote. While the fan vote does not weigh as much as the judges, the fan vote does count, and so that can definitely play a factor, especially when you got a split like this. All right. Next up, we have Shauna Chups. She did not have a person who submitted, so we're going to see what she has here, and she has this is all from Street Fighter, and it looks like a very kind of impressionistic Chun-Li and Cammy, I think that is. Michael, what do you think?
I like the decision to use the like ant-eye view perspective in this. I think that works really well, and it's like reminiscent of like Cubism style with like the shading and the colors. So I think it's a like unique attempt at this theme.
Jay Oden?
Yeah, I agree. The thing that really stands out to me, the thing that I like the most, is that there are no lines. It's just color, and I really like that effect. Also the blurring and all of that, it just adds more to it. I like this a lot.
What about you, What?
Yeah, I like the attempt at, again, another very dynamic angle. The hair doing some interesting stuff. Pretty difficult poses. The no line thing, obviously, sometimes if you have lines, it still works, whether you have it or not. But to being able to achieve that kind of stuff is impressive. Like the painterly style, I do think that the image could use more detail, and I think they probably figured that out and realized it was going to be a lot of work. So they bribed the other person to not enter, and that's what happened.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things here. I know this person got to work in late, so they dodged the bullet by getting to work in late. But I will say that I was really impressed with this piece for all the reasons everyone stated. I think the perspective. I will say I initially didn't like the piece. My newest in person got it in late. I was not terribly in love with what was submitted. Not to mention, there's no other character in here. Young Web did the same thing in his. But what sold me was Cammy. Like everything about Cammy is done. Like the Chun-Li to me doesn't quite sell it. Like her hand is just kind of disappearing, and there's just some weird stuff with that. But Cammy, the fingers underneath the leg, like that level of detail, considering how I'm sure this young lady must have rushed to get this done, and had a lot of things she had to try to pull together at the last minute, to take the chances she took with this, to create the impact she created with it. And again, the fingers, where Cammy's fingers are kind of touching the ground, we see her legs and stuff, the dynamic pose, the camera angle. I think this is really nice. This certainly gets my vote. Obviously, there's no one else to vote against, but does anyone not feel like Shanna deserves to go forward?
I like this a lot, so I think she does deserve to go forward.
I take it. No one has any objections.
Nope, I agree.
If you're smart enough to bribe your opponent to dip, you got my vote.
Good point. Shanna, try not to do that again, Shanna. Don't pay people not to participate. Jello Studios versus Milk Dimension. First of all, these names. Beyond that, let's go. Jello Studios. This once again is Kill versus Ryu. Michael, what do you make of it?
I like the attempt at like dynamic lighting. So like the edge lighting on each of the characters is really cool, and the Hadouken's like what's really selling it for me here. And I like how stylized it is, to be honest. But I just wish there was a little bit more going on in the background. I think that could have really helped complete the piece.
Yay?
Yeah, I agree. The thing that I don't like about this image is it's muted. It feels too muted to me. But I mean, overall, I think it works. For what they were going for. I think also that their style is very cartoony. It's a really nice instant recognition that if this artist had more stuff out, I would instantly know that that's them. So I like that a lot.
White, what about you?
Again, I think we got some people really going for it. I like the person showing off their style and approach to doing things. I like the attempt at the effects and the attempts of trying to do something that's dynamic, the hair flowing, the angles, and all that. I think all that is strong. There's still room. Obviously, there's usually always room for improvement, and this one's no different. Maybe in some of the, I want to say maybe facial expressions or something like that, but still pretty good. Almost feels like two characters from two different series, which it is, but it almost also feels like it's two different, slightly different styles for both characters, which I don't know if that's a positive or negative, but overall, strong energy.
Yeah, I like the energy power ups they're doing and so forth. I don't know how it's called, but yeah, I like the flame and the Hadoken. I like Young Web's better. No, not Young Web. What was the guy's name? The other guy, Eon Hayes. I like that better just because I thought the effects were stronger. But still, I like this. I like the perspective. I like the lighting, as Michael said. So I like the piece a lot. Next up, we have Milk Dimension. And so with Milk Dimension, this is Blanca versus Scorpion. Michael, thoughts?
This one's a little bit hard because both these characters are in completely different styles. I really like the person in the back, and I think I don't really know what to say about this. I think it's a cool like idea and composition, but maybe if like the styles were a little bit more similar, it would feel like one complete piece.
All right. What about you, Jay?
I see where he's coming from. That makes sense. I like this image mainly just because it looked like a manga panel, and I also really like the expressions for Blanca and like all the sweat beads and stuff on his body. So yeah, I like this image a lot. The line art's really cool.
What?
Yeah, I think this one is pretty strong too. Good line variation with objects as you're closer to thicker lines. I like the anatomy here. I guess they're trying to do like a scorpion teleporting behind him about to drop a finisher. I wish there was more effort put into like backgrounds and just extra details to really make everything come together. And if we were going for the manga style aesthetic, maybe just put a little more like sound effects, speed lines, and stuff like that. But overall, I still like it. I like the approach. I like the thought process. What I imagine went through to put this together. So yeah, another strong image for me.
Yeah, I actually like this piece. I mean, I like this better than the piece we saw before. I mean, I mean, to me, I don't think the styles look terribly different from one another. I mean, not to me at least. I mean, I get the cartoony nature of Blanca's face, and obviously Blanca himself is just kind of a strange character. But I like the idea of him stopping the get over here little spear thing that Scorpion does. I like. I mean, to me, art, art's always about the attention to details for me to like it, and this to me just has so much detail. It shows just a not just a confidence and a competency, but just shows like a real love for putting together this piece. And so I like this piece a lot. I like every part of it. All right, so then where do you guys stand then? Jello Studios or Milk Dimension? Let's begin with Michael. Michael, Jello Studios, Milk Dimension.
I'll go Milk Dimension.
Milk Dimension for Mike. Jay, Milk Dimension or Jello Studios?
Milk Dimension.
Milk Dimension. White, Milk Dimension or Jello Studios?
Milk Dimension.
Milk Dimension. I'm also Milk Dimension, so that is 4 Milk Dimension. So this is going to be a tough one for Jello Studios. Milk Dimension looks like he may have pulled this one out. All right, next up we have the Kid Crow, who did not have anyone submit. So this is the Kid Crow here. It's I don't know who this is versus I don't know who it is. So let's begin with Michael. Michael, who is this?
I have no idea. So
You failed, Michael.
I'm sorry, but I like the red background with the KO screen. I think that's pretty like reminiscent of video games, and the perspective is really cool here. I like the like attempt at the motion blur with the kick. So yeah, really cool stuff here.
All right, Jay.
Yeah, I also don't know who it is. I do agree though. I really like the line art and how they attempted that blurry effect with it looks like maybe a brush type of marker or some sort, or a brush pen. I also really like the red background as well. It just kind of like leads your eye to the yellow, which is that hit. So I really like that aspect of it.
All right, White.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive this is Street Fighter. I think the girl Street Fighter and maybe the guy is also Street Fighter. Was it Balrog, the boxer or something like that? Or yeah, I'm pretty sure these are both Street Fighter characters. And then you got the kick, you got Blur, and I like the stylized nature of all of this. First, the red background's throwing me off, but I think overall, I think it does fit the style and approach that the artist is going for. I appreciate the dynamic angles, the kick, and all of that. Pretty difficult to pull off normally, so yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I believe if I had to, I think the character's name is Yuri or something like that. She's from one of the latest Street Fighter games, why I don't know her that well. And then the guy is possibly DJ, but then yeah, it could just be anybody. So, but yeah, looks pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so I think we all are in agreement. The Kid Crow is a pretty good piece.
Yeah, I'd like to see more from him.
Okay.
No, I vote for the Ghost.
Right. Okay. All right. So if no objections, and Kid Crow said they're going to pass through this round. Next, we have X Ross Mancer versus Elvin Bart. X Ross Mancer has looks like a lot of stuff going on here. MK and Street Fighter. Michael, real quickly, what do you think?
I think it's cool that they're trying to attempt a lot of things. Like the stage in the back with like the audience is like what's catching my eye the most. I think the perspective could use a little bit of work because right now it looks like the stage is like tilting upwards kind of. I like the plug in the back for Saturday AM, but yeah, overall I think there's a little bit much going
on. Jay?
Yeah, I agree. There's so much that like my eyes just I don't know, wander. But I do like all the logos in the background, especially the A for the Apple Black. I thought that was really cool. It's just kind of hidden there. But yeah.
All right, White.
Yeah, same with everybody else. Still a lot of stuff going on. Some Street Fighter, some Mortal Kombat, and the perspective is a little off to use work. The people kind of also could use work. I think it feels a little rushed, and I know you're like people taking pictures. I don't know, just a lot's going on, and a lot of inaccuracies for all of them to actually feel like but the effort is there, and I like the attempt at trying to get certain things right. You can tell some parts that they probably use reference for certain things, and you can appreciate that, but maybe a little too much going on. But overall, decent attempt.
Okay, all right, yeah. To me, it's a lot going on. I mean, there's some, like, I don't know if they're like supposed to be in cups. I don't know what's going on with Ken's like he's in a cup kind of, and then the Minotaur type guy. I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell exactly what's going on here with these sort of positionings and so forth. But I do admire the attempt to do all these things. There's like a lot of stuff that's trying to be done here, but I'm just not quite sure this was pulled off quite the way they would have liked. So, interesting piece, a lot of moving parts. I'm not quite sure it landed the way they wanted to. Elvin Bart has a Ryu versus, I think his name is Yori from King of Fighters. I'm not quite sure the difference in positioning here, but Michael, what do you make of this?
I wish there was more going on with the background. That's my first point. I think this is fine for like a title screen, like the two characters are versing. I think both characters like they're stylized pretty well. I like the like marker look of the color, but yeah, the background is just the one thing that keeps bugging me.
Jay?
Yeah, I wish they were doing something. They're just standing there. I mean, I agree. Yeah, this is kind of like, hey, pick your character, and they're just like looking at each other. But I mean, I don't know. I wish that if that were the case, then maybe show other faces of other characters, so that way that background could be filled up like that. But overall, I like the line art, and the figure work looks pretty cool. If there's more going on, I think this would be an amazing piece. But yeah.
White?
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the anatomy, and in another case, maybe they also did some research and got some reference, maybe. But overall, you might be able to get away with like a white background in some instances. I think one of the reasons why it's so glaring here is because of how Ryu's cropped, and then some of the positioning there. I'd rather them just literally stand on the same level, looking at each other. But maybe that's just me. Uh, Clothing looks okay. The anatomy looks okay. Overall, again, I think a decent attempt. And try to go for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a tough one for me because I'm not in love with either piece. Ultimately, the first piece I thought had too much stuff going on. This piece has too little going on. You're right. These poses, I've seen these poses before. So artist clearly has talent, but these are poses that have existed before. So the fact that these are poses I've seen and they're not even in line with each other, it's like one thing if it was like artistic to where Ryu was like overlapping. He was closer to the foreground, but like his body was cutting into Yore. You could kind of make the case that this is kind of like a stylistic approach, but this is just kind of a bit odd that Ryu is so far down for no reason in a space of whiteness. This doesn't kind of quite add to me. So I'm not really in love with either one of these pieces, but for me, if I had to go between the two, I'd say Elvin Bart, just because there's some competency here with some of the anatomy and so forth. Real quickly, Michael, who do you think should go forward for this team for this matchup?
Elvin Bart.
All right, Jay.
Elvin Bart.
White.
Then Bart.
All right, so Elvin Bart is going to pass through on this round. Okay. Tokyo McFly, very good artist we've seen in the past. He's going to be someone who didn't submit. And he has a Terry Bogard versus Jay Talbot, I think is the character's name, from Darkstalkers. Fatal Fury versus Darkstalkers. So let's start with Michael. Real quickly, what did you make, sir?
I like the composition. It's very video game esque, and I like the like little menus on the top corner. The background's not selling it for me, but overall, this is a really dynamic piece, in my opinion, for this topic.
Jay?
Yeah, I agree. Not only that, but also Tokyo McFly, like you said, we've seen him a bunch of times. I like his art style. It's very. I think he still has some room for improvement, but I still like the fact that it's very recognizable.
Yeah, White?
Again, I like the attempt at trying get this kind of angle. Some of the rendering could use work. Some of the angles could use work still, but at least the composition is pretty strong. And I like the person's style. A few inaccuracies here, like if you look at the beast's toes, it's like different counts. But overall, I appreciate the attempt to try and replicate what you see in video games and things like that. And so yeah, pretty good. Happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's a good piece. I think it's definitely a pretty solid piece. I don't really see anything with it that stands out to me as a negative. There's some stylistic choices. There's some things that don't quite fit, but then you're like, but you know, it's a style. Again, it can be a stylistic choice, but for the most part, yeah, I really think this is a cool piece and definitely hits the video game idea, which is cool. So, Tokyo McFly, I certainly like to see more from this round. I mean, this tournament. Anyone disagree with that? We think Tokyo McFly should keep going.
Yeah, he should keep going.
All right. Well, then I guess that then we'll move on. Then I believe that okay. I think that this might be the last one here. Wing Knee versus Vomit Pile. These names. Wing Knee. Rue versus Ken. So, Michael, thoughts?
This is really cute. It looks like a sticker design, but that's like about all I see in this. I just wish there was a little bit more attempt at like action or something like that. But overall, I really like this.
Jay?
Yeah, same here. I really like it because it's cute. It just looks like I wish that there was a Street Fighter show that looked like this. So I like this a lot.
White?
Yeah, same as everybody else, just chibi versions of it. And overall, I like it as well because I think I get the vibe that the artist maybe had fun with it too. And that's part of the whole thing we're going for here. So I can appreciate that. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fun piece. I actually liked it. I mean, I was a big Capcom fan back in the day. I remember, what was it called? Pocket Fighter and Super Puzzle Fighter. And so this captured that for me. I mean, it's illustration. It would be nice to have had more stuff in it, but it's kind of hard with these type of characters to really sell more things, you know? So for me, this is a solid piece here. We then have Vomit Pile, which is, decided to really give us Mortal Kombat here. I don't even know who these people are. I think that's the black named Jax, right? And then I don't know the other guy, but Michael, what do you make of this?
I like how
adult
different this
picture?
is. This reminds me a lot of like Western indie comics. I think the shit, like the muted like color palette's really cool, and the amount of details on the body. It's a little bit gory for my taste, but overall, I think it's very different.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, I agree. The fact that he attempted something like this detailed was really really cool. I like the fact that like the angle, like if you look closely enough, it looks like it's kind of like an overhead, and like the black dude is actually like bending the guy because the bridge is behind him. So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what that is, if it is a bridge or not. But I mean, I don't know. I like that aspect of it, and all the small details are pretty cool.
All right, White.
Some anatomy issues, obviously, but again, I think I appreciate the effort and detail. I like the way the style stands out. Just a few anatomy issues and the colors. I wish it wasn't as saturated in some places and then dull in some places. I think that could still use work, but I appreciate the attempt in coloring the backgrounds the way it did as well. Just putting this whole thing together. So all that's good for me. Again, some saturated parts like the blood, but maybe I want to explore the style that's being executed. So good job overall.
Yeah. So I mean, I personally prefer the other piece. But the other piece, again, it was cute. You couldn't get more different than each other. One was cutesy chibi, and this one is a bit more adult. But I like the detail in this one. I'm not. There's just some anatomy issues here, and I'm not quite sure what all's going on with it. Like the guy's kind of floating in the background from an anatomy standpoint. Like seems like he should have legs, or at the very least, I should see more of his legs. His body should just cut off where it's like it cuts off at his knees, just the way the body's framed. But again, I don't know this game that well, so I'm not sure. But I do like very much the attempt at some of the things that were done here. So my vote would be for the previous artist Wing Knee, but I do respect what this artist tried to do. Michael, Wing Knee or Vomit Paul?
Wing Knee.
Wing Knee. J. Oden, Wing Knee or Vomit Paul?
Wing Knee.
And White, Wing Knee or Vomit Paul?
Wing Knee.
Wing Knee it is then. All right, so this is the final one right here. It's Katsugiri Art versus 685 Akuma. Katsugiri Art, these are really good here. This is Chun-Li versus Mai Shiranui. So talk to me, Michael. What do you think?
I really like the yin yang composition with like the worms on the left and the cools on the right. I think both characters are really well rendered, and the style is really appealing and like pretty and glossy. So yeah, I think this is a really good piece.
Jay?
Yeah, I totally agree. It just looks really clean. It looks like a video game, like cutscene, and I like that a lot. Yeah, they did a really good job.
All right, White.
I think this might be the best entry we've seen so far. I like the angles, I like the anatomy, I like the actions going on, and the background is still abstract and kind of stylistic, but it works for what it is. And yeah, thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I think certainly I like the color on it. I mean, I definitely like the color on it. I think the color is kind of, especially the back, kind of just has that sense of like momentum and energy. And, I mean, I like the piece. I'm not sure my favorite piece I've seen so far from this round of Apple Black. I think some of the other pieces were probably just as good. But this is a really solid piece. Next up, we have 685 Akuma, and this features Ryu and Akuma. So thoughts, everyone? Start with Michael. Michael.
I like the scale difference between the two characters. This looks traditional, so I gotta respect like the marker attempt here. Overall, I wish there was something going on with the background still, like with the other pieces. But I like the effect going on in this character's hands. I think they're like summoning some kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
All right, Jay.
Yeah, I agree. This does look traditional. I really like the white lines to like accentuate all the highlights and stuff. That's really cool. I think he's making the Hadoken right there, so I really like that. Overall, I think if the face for Akuma was a little better, this entire image would definitely be better. But overall, it's a pretty cool image.
White.
Yeah, I like a lot that's going on here. I like the composition of the characters. I like the muscles. I like the line work in some areas. I think this guy is pretty talented. Whoever this is, guy, girl, I'm not sure. Pretty talented, and they can just keep up. I can see it going places. But a few things here and there that obviously could be better. But for the most part, for what it is, traditional piece, I think it's pretty strong. Like someone said about the background as well. Maybe something could have happened, but overall, I like it.
Yeah, this reminds me of a couple of years ago we had Zafe, who is now the artist of a series we have called Orisha. He participated in Martial Mass a couple of years ago, and this reminds me a lot of that piece. It was a traditional hand drawn image with colored pencil. This obviously maybe his marker, I'm not sure, but his was colored pencil. I still think about that piece because the piece was nowhere near the talent level he has today. But you could see, and I think a job as publisher, at least the way I try to act as a publisher, it's kind of like a coach for a sports team. Like it's my job to identify great talent, and I knew some of the things that person had, even though the piece wasn't nearly as good as what his stuff is today. I see the exact same thing with this. There's a lot here I like. There's a lot of mistakes here. There's a lot of fundamental things that don't quite grab me, but there's a lot here I like, and I think this person has a real solid talent potential on them as they begin to get better at kind of like posing and anatomy and the likes. There's a lot that this person can do. So I'm really curious to see what this artist comes up with. But I have to say, I would probably in this matchup go with Katsugiri Art. So, Michael, Katsugiri Art or 685 Akuma?
Katsugiri.
Jay, Katsugiri Art or 685 Akuma?
Katsugiri.
And White, Katsugiri or Akuma?
Katsugiri.
Katsugiri. So all of us are Katsugiri. And that concludes our Team Apple Black, folks. So I want to talk real quickly about Flick Solitaire. This is one of our first sponsors. They are the makers, Flick Games, of some really awesome mobile games. And the Flick Solitaire game is not your parent solitaire, folks. This is a solitaire game that offers lots of different ways to play solitaire. And the best part is that they've got custom artwork from global creators that you're going to really dig. You can see here just a collection of some of the artwork on display for some of the cards. They really take pride in working with up-and-coming creators. And, folks, here's the crazy part. You actually get to own the art. So they will license the artwork from you. They'll pay you a great rate, license the artwork from you, if they like the art, to be frank, and then they'll use it for their cards. So we actually are going to be having the winner participate with Flick Solitaire for 2021. They're going to have a chance to get a professional art contract to produce a deck of cards that will be a part of this game. And folks, this is, I know some of you might be like, oh man, I really like Genshin Impact. Folks, this game has been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. So this is not something that your artwork is not going to be seen. This is a big solitaire game from a big up and coming studio. You cannot possibly imagine the opportunities for a young artist to be featured in this game. If you want to love, if you're like me and you just love a great kind of casual game to play as well, check out Flick Solitaire. You can find it either on Android or Apple devices. I actually even have it on my Mac. So it is very, very cool. Check it out. Flick Solitaire. Play, collect, love. Not your parents' solitaire game, folks. Check this out. One of our sponsors of this year's March Art Madness. All right. So, gang, we are going to enter Team Bully Eater now. Now, obviously, we did nearly an hour on that one. We made a point, ladies and gentlemen, that we were not going to have this thing go more than 2 hours for your sanity and for ours. So, what I'm going to suggest on this one is I'm going to choose one person to talk about this piece, each artwork that you see from here on out. So one person will get selected to talk about the artwork they see, and then everyone else will get to give their vote at the end. And this will help us speed this up a little bit. So is that cool? Can everybody agree to that? Is that fun? Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. All right. Well, then let's go to Team Bully Eater. Now, I got to say, Team Bully Eater is a series we have here. Team Apple Black, of course, features the incredible work of White Manga and features Sano, a character who is a sorcerer with facing all sorts of dangers and intrigue as he tries to uncover the secret of the Apple Black, or the fruit that can power this whole world and so forth. I hope I'm getting all that right, White. I hope I'm getting that right in a quickie way. Oh, God knows. Folks, Apple Black is a story about a computer. But no, Bully Eater is about a kid who is up to bullies. Really simple. Stays up to bullies. He's not nearly as strong as the bullies, but he believes in standing up for the people. So he's got a strength of will that's stronger than anybody else's. This is from one of our co-founders, Raymond Brown. And this group is a really solid group. They only had one entry that didn't make it in. Really solid group. We're going to look at it now. The theme is Marvel versus DC. So Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman versus Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, or some variation of such amongst all their characters. Really cool stuff. This is going to be really fun. Let's take a look at it. First up, we have White Hair Artist versus Young Wavy the Artist. Young Wavy the Artist. So let us begin with White Hair Artist. For this one, I'm going to select Jay Oden. Jay, what do you make of this, sir?
All right, time to be put on the spot. I like this. The White Hair Artist did a really good job with just like the action. Like I can tell exactly what's going on right here. Obviously, Spider-Man is dodging what this. I forgot that person's name, but I know that they were like the skull.
Doomsday.
Doomsday. There you go. Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's completely
that's
different.
Doomsday. Yeah, that's from DC. Yeah,
that's the one that killed Superman. Okay.
Superman.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I like the muted colors. I like the.
I know White Hair Artist sitting thinking like, why is he reviewing my thing? Fire him.
I really like the dust particles in the front. I really think that's a really awesome effect that they added. I do think that if it was at a different angle, probably would have been a little bit more dynamic to look at, because it's just kind of like, him just flying away is just like straight on. So, I mean, I guess that's my criticism. Also with the background, even though I understand that the buildings are very, very simplistic, I wish that maybe there were even more, or just a little bit more detail to just get that across to let people know that those are buildings as opposed to just rocks or something like that. So overall, I think it's a pretty decent image. And there you go.
All right. So then the opponent, Young Wavy, the artist. White, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I like the sense of motion here. I see the cars as he's flying up. So.
Your audio is a little off, White. You're in a tunnel.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Yeah.
Yeah, I said the visuals are pretty strong. I like the lightning, I like the flash, the cars like reacting to the speed and all of that.
So yeah, I think this is really strong. I will say I wish it was a little clearer to see visually in some areas,
Yeah.
so I have a better sense of what's going on. I know the character is in motion, so it's supposed to be difficult, but even then, I think there could have been ways to make this work. So with all the filters, the blur, the noise, I think it adds some things to it, but the way it was added, it kind of also took away certain things. Um, but overall, I really like the image. Is this like Kid Flash or something?
That's the question. That's $1 million question. I believe it's Kid Flash, and I say version of Kid Flash. I don't know who he's going up against. I don't. So, is there a Marvel character there? I don't know. I have no idea. Like you said, the framing of this is really complicated. There's some great stuff going on here. I love the dynamism of the image, but it's confused.
Yeah.
I couldn't begin to tell you.
I would say maybe it's an X Men character. I see like an X on the collar of the other guy, but like just some things were difficult to see, and I wish they
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. I can't tell who that is, but yeah, okay. All right. So then, young wavy the artist with the speed character, whoops, versus white hair artist with the Spider-Man versus Doomsday. So, got to choose here. So, Michael, of the two, who do you choose? White hair artist or young wavy?
Young wavy.
Young wavy. Jay Oden, who do you choose? Young wavy or white hair artist?
Young wavy.
Young wavy. White, who you choose? Young wavy or white hair artist?
weren't. Thread margin, but I would go white-headed.
I was going to say, I'm a white hair artist. I mean, I think I've seen this young wavy kid before. I know he's got some talent, but like I said, as we talk about this event all the time, it's about choices you make, and I do like. This is a dynamic panel for me, but I can't make out who he's fighting, so I'm kind of lost. And I personally did not mind. Like I think this is an artistic, depiction of a fight. It doesn't bother me that I can't make out the buildings here. So 2 for white hair artist, 2 for young wavy. All right. Next up, we have Med Manga versus Sketchy Goo. These names. All right, Med Manga. Let's see. Michael, thoughts?
I really like how this is rendered with like the yellow light on the shield. I think Superman looks really cool here with like the inking on the neck. The composition's a little bit weird to me because it looks like they're like flying above the city, which I don't know if that's looking good for Captain America right now. But overall, I like how like the suits are looking, and yeah, I think this is a really cool piece.
All right. Okay. So the opponent is Sketchy Goo, and I'll take this. This is Wolverine versus Lobo. These are 2 characters in the 90s, folks, who were like the bad boys of comic books. Lobo's kind of like a complete, butthead in DC Comics world, hard to kill, and Wolverine, of course, not quite a butthead. He obviously was not always the nicest character, and he was tough to kill as well with the adamantium bone. So, really cool piece. I like both these characters coming into conflict with each other. I think it's a really fine image. So, with that being said, then I mean, I love the duality of the characters. I love the fact that they're matched up perfectly. I love the fact that we talked about background so frequently in this, and at least this has a background, even though it's just a color swatch. You just still plays with the idea that these are similar characters from 2 different realities, giving you just a different visual cue to that. I like this piece a lot. I love some of the lighting as well on it. So, all right, let's go on the list then. So, White, Sketchy Goo or Med Manga?
Pretty close, but I would go Med Manga.
All right, Jay Oden, Med Manga or Sketchy Goo?
I'm gonna go Med Manga.
Med Manga. Michael, Med Manga or Sketchy Goo?
Med Manga.
And I'm going to say Med Manga as well. I really don't give a damn that they're up in the sky. Like, it doesn't bother me. First of all, I like the worst thing I can think about this image, because I love the folds in Captain America's clothes, his tunic around his torso. I love the facial expression. The worst thing here for me is Superman's neck looks like, he's got the strongest neck in the history of mankind. But I think this is a really dynamic piece. I think, unlike the young wavy piece we just talked about, like I totally understand what's happening here. And if they are above ground, then yeah, I mean, we all know Cap doesn't care. If Cap feels like he's got to take you down, he'll put himself in danger for us. So I really like this piece. I think it's a great piece from Med Manga. So that's 4 for Med Manga. Great piece from Sketchy Goo, but I think Med Manga, the dynamism really sells it for me. Next up, Yaz for short versus No Need for Marks. Yaz for short. So let's start with you, J.O.D. Talk to me, sir.
Okay.
Wait, did you do last time? Did I go with you last time? No, I didn't go with you.
I was 2 times ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
well,
cool. I can go right now.
Go ahead.
I really like Spider Gwen. She's actually one of my favorite Spider people. And also the speed lines. I think that's pretty cool. I also like the fact that even though she's the cool color type of person, and what's her name, Harley Quinn is wearing red, so warm. I like that duality. That's a pretty cool contrast. Yeah, I overall I think it's pretty cool. I wish that Harley Quinn had a different pose. I think it's kind of weird that she's just opening up her legs like that. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's. I also like the webs inside of Spider Gwen's hood. I always like that. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, y'all, for short, that some people's reviews have their mind in the gutter. Next up is No Need for Marks. I'm going to go to Michael for No Need for Marks. Michael, what did you make of this piece, sir?
I really like the lighting here and the contrast between Batman and the Hulk. I think that explosion or whatever that is coming from the right side is really selling the piece for me. And just the perspective of us looking up at this big creature coming in for the attack. I just think this is a really cool piece.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they are necessarily in conflict. I mean, it could be. I mean, Hulk sounds like looks like he's looking down to Batman, but again, it wouldn't explain why Batman's kind of doing his thing. I don't know what the explosion is exactly, but what I love about it is the coloring on Hulk. I love the fact I can see his abs. I love the fact that just with the lighting, I can see his abs, and I mean, I just love that. I love the fact that we can see kind of the sheen on Batman's armor. It looks like the Dark Knight Returns armor that Frank Miller designed for his Comfort with Superman. So I really like this piece as well. I mean, I think both pieces are great. I actually really like this No Need for Marks piece though as my fave. So White, No Need for Marks versus Josh for short. Which one, sir?
No need.
No Need for Marks for White Manga. Jay, which one? No Need for Marks or Josh for short?
No need.
No need. And then last but not least, Michael.
No need.
No Need for Marks gets 4 votes, and we are off to the races, folks. Next up, we have Arakusu Illustrations versus Did Not Submit. So this will be a single review. This is the one that did not have the person get their stuff in in time. And this looks like Superman versus, I don't know what. I was going to say King Kong from Godzilla, but I don't know what this is. I don't know what that thing is.
That's Thor.
Is it really? It looks awfully thin for Thor, but okay. So White, what do you make of this piece, sir?
Looks awfully thin for Superman too, so it's more like a stylistic thing, I guess. But yeah, that's Thor. 100% get the Green Thunder, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's a strong image. I like how it's rendered. Again, strong attempts to do something dynamic, even with dynamic coloring as well. And yeah, I think this is a really, really good piece. Color-wise, obviously it could be better, but strong enough to go through.
Okay, all right. So does anyone disagree that should go through? Anyone think this artist doesn't have any talent? Michael?
No, I agree with everything.
Jay?
Yeah, I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, I still don't understand the Thor thing. I'm still completely thrown on the Thor thing. Really thin for Superman is Thor as well. Yeah, I get that it's kind of meant to be the Stormbreaker, which is with the new hammer he had from from Infinity War, but still, it's not quite. And Superman, of course, is obviously a little thinner, so it's different. But I love the pose of Superman. I really love that. I mean, it was like a young Superman. I love that pose for Superman. I do love the lighting. So even though I'm lost on the Thor thing, I think it's a strong piece. And hope that Arakasu Illustrations continues. Next up, we have T-Rex and the Painter versus Alan is Leo. So T-Rex and the Painter. I'm going to start with you, White, on this one. Again, what do you make of this piece, which is, God, what's that character's name? Katana versus Pyro from X-Men.
I think these are really good, nicely rendered. I like Katana's hair. I like the attempted background here, some kind of apocalyptic setting. I like the fire. Overall, this is a really good image. Nice line weights as well, showing off their style. Thumbs up for me.
Okay, next up we have Alan is Leo. I'm going to go with Michael on this one because Michael, I'm concerned Jay will make some inappropriate comment about Scarlet Witch. So, just joking, Jay. Michael, thoughts?
Yep, I really like the composition here, like us looking up at Scarlet Witch, and the half tone in the background I just noticed right now is actually really cool. I really like the coloring style of this piece, like with how pretty and glossy Harley Quinn I think that is right here looks, and like the effects coming out of Scarlet Witch's hands. I just wish the picture was cropped out a little bit more. Like we're seeing the edge of this hammer. I just wish we could see a little bit more going on in this picture.
I agree. I actually like this piece. So I was actually torn on this round because like White said, I really love the hair of the katana. I think that is fantastic, and I love the fire coming from Pyro. I love their facial reaction. I mean, I think this is a really strong piece. But I do like this Alan is Leo piece. I mean, obviously this is a more shoujo-ish style, but I like it. I mean, it seems to be kind of fun. I like the flame coming from, or I guess it's not flame, but whatever coming from Scarlet Witch. I like the Alan's Leo piece, but for me, I would have to give it to T-Rex and the painter. Again, that flame and the hair on Katana is just fantastic. It's even the smoke embers just really sets a beautiful scene of this. Jay,
yeah, I agree.
Speak. I know you're gonna tease. I mean, I know you're gonna not accept my teasing, but go ahead. What do you make?
I laughed, but to myself. So, and Trex the painter is who I'm voting for. I like this a lot.
All right, White.
Yeah, just like you, this one was hard. I wish with the people that didn't submit, I'm sure somebody will maybe figure something out. We'll see how that works out. But
we'll talk about that at the end. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I think just for this, I will go with Atlantis.
Okay, all right, and then last but not least, Michael.
I'm gonna agree with White and also go for Atlantis.
All right, okay. I think it's Alan is Leo, but Atlantis works too. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one who's crazy. All right, Lord Katadwe versus The Void. So Lord Kawatwe did not. We had everyone do their work, and you're gonna see a few people whose work is out of spec. This will be something they'll be docked points for in rounds 2 through 5. So hopefully they won't do this again. But Lord Kawatwe's work was way out of the limit of specs that we said. But for this round, we're not imposing any penalties. So that's why this image looks so big. You're gonna see some images look really small because again, people just didn't follow the specs. This is Hulk versus Doomsday. Let's go with Jay on this one. Jay.
Yeah. So first off, I really like all the detail, all the destruction, and the rocks and stuff. That's really cool. I really like the Superman cape in the background. I think that's really cool. It also really sells Doomsday as Doomsday because there's another Hulk figure that has spikes in it. And I also like Hulk's muscles. There's a little anatomy issues off, but the attempts and for the most part, I mean, you can get basically what's going on. I really like that. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid piece.
All right. We have The Void, and I'm not actually sure who these. I know one's the Enchantress. I don't know who the other one is. So, Michael, thoughts?
I like the attempt of us looking from below. I think the perspective could use more work, but I really like the look on the character on the left's face. I think that's really cool. The picture's a little bit green for me. I don't know if that's like a stylistic choice or like with his power going on, but yeah, I think this is pretty solid overall.
Yeah, so the woman is the Enchantress from Marvel's Thor, and the red-haired woman, I think, is the character who was in Suicide Squad. I think her name is also Enchantress, so I believe that's the case, but I really don't know. I really don't know. Now I think about it, I've seen those boots before, so I can't begin to tell you. I will say that what does take me out of this is not the green color, but is similar to the Captain America Superman piece that I think Michael had talked about the fact that it looked like they were in the sky. This also looks like they're in the sky, and the pose, whereas at least Captain America looked like he was leaping up towards Superman. This pose here looks like they're on the ground, yet so, at least in translation she's on the ground. Yet the other character, she's flying, and then there are buildings that are clearly in the bottom in the distance. There's like a helipad or something at the top of one building. So I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at here. It's for some of those choices. Again, this person clearly has talent. These are very busty women. They like the energy spice going on with this stuff. It looks that this person can clearly draw, but for that strange relationship to the background, I'm having to go here with Laura Katadwe because this is incredible detail, and it does. You can clearly see what's going on. It sets the stage perfectly, in my opinion. So Laura Katadwe gets my vote. Michael,
Laura gets my vote as well.
White.
Lord.
Jay.
Yeah, same here. Lord.
All right. Okay. So next up, we have King Tenta versus KNJ Polo. King Tenta has Thanos versus Dark. So we saw a beautiful illustration of this last year from a young man from Philippines, Chev. What do you make of this piece here? I'm gonna go to White on this one. White, what do you make of this piece?
Fitting opposites, I think, or similar, or whatever. Good character choice, I guess. Simple background, but I think the background works. I like the blurriness in some areas. I like how it's shaded with the flat blacks, reminiscent of like old school animation, as well as Western comics. I like the flash and the glow and everything. I think given is he wearing the glove? Is that the Infinity glove? I'm not.
Yeah, it's Infinity glove.
Yeah, because if it is, it almost looks like he's wearing two, and so I think Darkseid would get washed. But overall, I think it's a strong image. I like the composition, and the coloring's pretty good. So thumbs up.
All right, the opponent. KNJ Polo. This is Deathstroke from DC Comics versus Deadpool from Marvel Comics. Jay, thoughts, sir?
I like the characters because they're basically the same. That's
yeah.
I also like. I feel like Deadpool is just having fun because he's not gonna die. Like, I mean, I like the explosion. The red and the blue composition to each other. I think that's really cool. I do think that like Deathstroke, like his hand is holding the sword, that looks kind of off. So obviously there are a few things that could be improved. I'm not sure if they're like, I don't know, sliding on a building or if like it's tilted some way. Like that kind of looks weird. But overall, I think it is a pretty decent image.
All right. Okay. So I actually like this image a lot. I said this last year. I remember there was a Deathstroke versus Doctor Doom from Joel from Puerto Rico, Jargard, I think his name was, and I remember loving it because I just loved American superheroes. I love I love the colors. Our characters tend to be very colorful. Manga is awesome. Love manga, but manga tends to have more complicated designs. I love American superheroes, and I love the primary colors of some of the American superheroes. Why, Frank, you guys will see if you discover Saturday, you'll see that we take a lot of that ethos where a lot of our characters are very colorful, and so I just love this piece. I love it because I just love the juxtaposition of the colors. I love the anatomy. To me, feels about right. The explosion in the background is useless, but it just gives something to do to the background. Don't know what if that's a floor they're standing on, if that's like a weird, don't know what that is, if it's like a building it's meant to be angled, but I just like overall this piece. I think it's just a really fun piece overall. The King Tenta piece, to me, why I like it, I love the colors that are going on with it. There's some anatomy things here. These are two massive characters. Darkseid, by the way, White is 1,000 times better than Thanos, but we won't go there.
You're a DC fanboy. So.
I speak the truth, sir. So yeah.
He
So
does.
so this was kind of a letdown. By the way, there was Darkseid in the Justice League. You know, I can't stand Justice League by Zack Snyder. The DC movies to me suck. Like they do Darkseid right, and that he looks great. Anyways, so I just couldn't feel this piece. I mean, it's just a little too cartoony. Anatomy not quite where it should be, but I love the colors. Person clearly has talent. I hope they keep drawing. For me, however, this contest goes to K and J Polo. Michael, decision: K and J Polo or King Tinta?
I agree with you. KNJ Polo.
All right, J O, K and J Polo or King Tinta?
I'm gonna go with King Tinta.
All right, Jay and White, King Tinta or K and J Polo?
Tough call, but I will go with Tenta watching Darkseid die.
Okay. Lord have mercy. King Tinta, you were saved by White's hatred of Darkseid. This is, no, I'm joking. Great piece, King Tinta, and great piece, KNJ Polo. This is the tie. So, again, you guys can help break that tie by voting. Please make sure you go vote. Art of Rob versus MC Rondo Art. Art of Rob. I'll take this one. This is Batman versus Iron Man. Iron Man was always the cheap version of Batman in comic books when I was a kid. God, what 20 years will do, folks. What 20 years will do. But either way, or 30 years in my case. But still, Batman, I like this piece a lot. Not quite sure what Batman is doing, but I also love the old primary blue colors. I like this piece. It's a fun piece. Nothing crazy is happening. It's not dynamic, but it does capture the characters for the most part. They're not as big as they probably would look normally from an artist who's more comfortable drawing them, but there's a lot of great choices in here. Again, blue part of Batman, just I respect tremendously. I love this. It's old school stuff here. So I like this piece a lot. MC Rondo Art, Spider-Man versus Red Hood. I'll go to White again on this one. White, thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is really good. Nice composition. The painterly style here is pretty good. Again, not really much going on in the background, but sometimes you can use that to your advantage and still do something interesting. It's kind of smoky, kind of textured in certain ways. And I appreciate that. The anatomy with Red Hood could be better. Holding the gun, the hand, all of that could be better. But overall, I think it's still an interesting piece to look at.
All right. So with this being the case, then I have to agree. I mean, even though I really like the piece with Batman versus Iron Man here from Art of Rob, it's hard to argue this is dynamic. This is, it's got this beautiful paint scheme to it. I love it being set at night. I just love the dichotomy of these are two other very colorful characters. Red is their primary, of course, but against a darker background. I really think it's a really strong piece. This is going to be my choice, MC Rondo Art. Michael, what say you, sir?
MC Rondo Art.
Jay, MC Rondo Art or Art of Rob?
MC Rondo.
All right, 4 for MC Rondo Art. Then let's see if he can make it out. All right, folks, that concludes Bully Eater. We are going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, I do want to tell you guys all about Wacom. Wacom, of course, is our sponsors here. The grand prize winner will walk away with a brand new Wacom One tablet. Now, folks, obviously in the past we've given away iPads. I want to tell you what makes working with a tablet so fantastic. First of all, you don't have to worry about software compatibility. Nearly all great software, including Clip Studio Paint, will interface with a PC or a Mac, or even nowadays an Android-based computer, formerly Chromebooks. So when you have that scenario, a Wacom tablet is just a really, really fantastic opportunity for you to be able to get some of the best technology, not have to worry about whether or not your tablet is up to snuff and so forth. You got the tablet, you got a decent computer, you will be able to create artwork and stuff. Not knocking iPads. iPads are fantastic, but at the same time, obviously a lot of our artists use tablets, drawing tablets like Wacom or XP Pen and so forth. And Wacom, of course, is one of the best. We're also very honored to be working with Wacom. This is the third Japanese company that Saturday AM has had the pleasure to work with. So to think that we started our diverse manga brand years ago, 8 years ago, with the discussion that Japanese manga and anime, we love it, but we just felt it could be more diverse. Could have gone anyway. Everyone, like I said, thought that maybe we were crazy trying to do it. Manga and anime is perfect the way it is, and it's obviously very awesome. We love it. But at the same time, we felt really strong in our convictions. And of course, now we see everybody else trying to do what we do. But the key thing here is that we see companies who recognize that we were the first ones out and recognize that we have built a really amazing international group of creators and fans. And they partnered with us. The fact that we, of course, are not Japanese and we're not doing traditional manga, we're doing our version of manga. Could not be more honored. We want to thank Wacom for putting faith and trust in us. And we do hope that you guys will check out Wacom tablets for your drawing needs so that you can create stellar artwork like Jay, Michael, and White here on this chat. So with that being said, folks, we're going to take a 5-minute break. So I know you guys need to hop up, do a pee dance, take the dog out, which is what I'm going to do. Get take a 5-minute break. We're going to come back. We're going to continue in the same method. We have two more teams to get through. One will be Clock Striker, and the final will be Team Hammer. So with that, I will see you guys here in 5 minutes with Team Clock Striker, and I'll see you back here shortly. All right, and we are back. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. We are back, and we are ready to get back into our fantastic tournament here. Now, again, this is March Art Madness, folks. 2021, round one. 64 artists entered. Each week, they will go toe-to-toe with each other, and next week, beginning tomorrow, there will be a set of 32 next stage contestants. 32 will be eliminated, 32 will remain. We'll have some deviation there. We'll talk about that a little bit later tonight. But that's what we're doing right now, is going through the teams where these groups are split up and determining who the winner of each matchup is. Now, we're not the only ones who can determine it. You can determine it by going to vote at www.saturday-am.com/madness. So with that being said, we've gone through two teams. We're going to go to the final two teams right now. We have special guest judges, Monitor Comics. You guys have seen him on his YouTube channel. Jay Oden, also of his YouTube channel, are all artists of Saturday AM and or our upcoming brand Saturday Afternoon. And of course, White Manga, creator of White Manga TV YouTube channel, as well as the History is Apple Black for Saturday AM. So again, we will continue on with these young men as we go through the content here submitted for each of these teams. Team Clock Striker is a series actually created, currently being illustrated by an extraordinary artist out of France named Asaka Galadima. This is Shonen Manga's first black female lead character. Could not be more excited at the embracing that people have had, the embracement people, the embrace people have given to the character. They love it, and we love the series, and we're so excited that we're back on track with this new artist and appearing regularly in issues Saturday AM. So this round, the theme was 2021 anime, and of course, what is bigger than what's been discussed in the last year, which has been last couple of months, has been Jujutsu Kaisen, Shonen Jump's, they believe, spiritual successor of Bleach, Naruto, things like that. So definitely a big series, wonderfully animated by MAPPA, and this is just one of the things people could have drawn for this particular round, for this particular team. So let's look in and see what we got. All creators in this group actually submitted their content, so I want to give a big shout out to my team, Team Clock Striker, for getting all of your art in, for all of you being represented 100%. That's what makes Team Clock Striker the best team. All right, 3D Hero versus Yoshi Fake. The 3D Hero, this is what they have here. It looks like some Attack on Titan action. Of course, Attack on Titan is in its final season right now, both in anime and final couple of chapters of the manga. I'm going to go to White Manga on this one. White, what do you make of this piece by the 3D Hero?
Yeah, I think this was a very strong piece, very dynamic piece, dynamic angle. You got all the, ninja Spider-Man flying all over the place. I appreciate that. Appreciate the detail on the armored Titan, even the wall to a degree. And even how the sky is kind of colored in this very vanilla sky type way. It's very reminiscent of Attack on Titan. So overall, good piece. Thumbs up from me, 100%.
All right. And the competitor from Jujutsu Kaisen, this is from Yoshi Fake. I'm going to go to Mr. Jay Oden on this. Jay, what did you make of this piece?
So I really like the angle. I think that the anatomy, needs some work, obviously, but I think that the attempt was, definitely really cool. I like the action and how she cut, I guess, a spear or something of some sort. At first I was kind of confused at that. I guess I still kind of am. It looks like a spear, so I'm gonna call it a spear. I think that's really cool. I also like the fact that all the background isn't like it's very loose. It's just colors. It works for this picture. I wish that there was maybe like a speed line or something, but I mean, I guess you don't necessarily need it. The water does a really good trick, and I also really like the reflection on the water as well. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty good piece.
All right. So folks, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're trying to figure out what exactly we're doing. And so what we're doing is we are communicating one person reacts to one image, and this way it helps us get through it faster. We started doing it right before we took our break, and it's working out really well. So we're going to continue that on. So one artist each one, but we will also talk at the end here, which we're about to do right now, and give our thoughts overall in terms of who we're going to vote for. I will say, folks, that I have I've got my iPad sitting right next to us now. I've got a MacBook, and if you guys know, if you got AirPods, you can switch the audio. So I don't want to do this, but I did cue it up for those of you who are wondering for Terry Funk, and I'm going to play that whenever Jay goes on too long. So I don't want to do it because I'm afraid it's going to trip and then it'll come into my AirPods and not to you guys. But trust me, if Jay goes on long again, we will play Terry Funk. All right.
Oh, jeez.
I actually am really torn on this one. There's a lot I like about the 3D Heroes piece, and there's a lot I like about the Yoshi Fake piece. I like the Yoshi Fake piece just because I just like it reminds me for some reason like Harry Potter. I just love kind of the way that this person chose to do the art of this, the way they colored it, just the way it kind of had that sort of painted look, but it still got a sort of action feel to it. I also don't know what's going on because one is the broomstick the girl rides on, the other is the spear that they use. I couldn't begin to tell you why this doing what they're doing, but I do kind of like the overall pose. Even though there's some problems with the pose, but I love the background, I love the water, I love just the painted look. It just feels like a picture from like a young adult book. The 3D hero piece here, I like a lot. I love the embers, I love the fire implication, even though you don't really see the fire. I love the fact that it's got everything that you want to see in Attack on Titan in one picture. I will say, I never, just because of again, some anatomy issues and so forth, the scale of the Colossal Titan, or the Armored Titan, I mean, doesn't feel that way. Like, it doesn't feel like scale. It just feel kind of like small pictures of people, not like a picture where you actually feel the scale of this creature. I know it might seem a bit strange, but it's not 100% something I love. But if I had to choose, I would say, because there is so much going on in the 3D hero piece, I would choose the 3D hero, although I do have a lot of love for the piece here by Yoshi Fake. So let me go to White, Yoshi Fake, or 3D hero. 3D hero. What did you make of either of these pieces?
3D hero.
3D hero. Michael, 3D hero or Yoshi Fake?
Yoshi Fake.
Jay, Yoshi Fake or 3D hero?
I'm gonna go with 3D hero.
All right, so 3D hero has 3. Yoshi Fake has 1. So you guys can make the difference. Make sure you go vote. www.saturday-am.com/madness. All right, next up, we have Mikey Art Book. I know some man's from Indonesia. He's done some stuff with Cocksucker in the past. And GZT Creations, who has been a fan of ours. So both these are good guys. Mikey Art Book has Kawaki, new character from Boruto. We go to Michael on this one. Michael, thoughts?
All right, this is very beautiful. I really like the contrast between the blue background and like this like arm piece right here. I haven't watched Boruto, so I don't really know what this power is, but I think the rendering on this character is like really well done. It's very colorful and saturated, and like the line work's really crisp. Super good piece.
Okay, all right. And then GZT Creations. Let's see. Did I speak on the last one, or was that? I can't remember. I'm getting old. Did I speak on the last one? Or was that JM? I know it was JM White. So I'm going to go to. Whoops. I think it was JM White. So I'm going to go to who's left. Who's someone's beeping in here.
I think it's you and Michael right now. So if you don't want to talk, I can talk. But
okay. All right. Well, anyways, go ahead. Jay.
Okay, yeah. So this was Digimon. I'm a huge fan of Digimon, so this is very nostalgic to look at. I loved this movie. I really like the digital like squares that are like making up that fusion Digimon that they had, and I also really like the way they rendered each Digimon, like those characters. I forgot their name, but I love like the colors and how it's traditional. I think it looks really cool. I will say that it looks very empty. Maybe if they would have took those the two kids and like made their full bodies and like had them in front, that would have been really cool. But overall, I think it's a pretty interesting piece. So
okay,
I want to hear Terry Folds, so I'll shut up.
It was coming. Yeah, I think I mean, I like I said, I think both these guys are really cool people. Obviously, this is an art contest, and while GZT Creations has some some interesting things going on with it, there's a it's got a lot of stuff happening. It reminds me of the picture that had Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, and I forget the artist's name, but like Ken was like in a looked like a cup, and Liu Kang was in a cup, and then it was the Minotaur character facing off against one of the Street Fighter characters. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on. And while to me this is a bit more even than the other picture I just mentioned, the Kawaki piece clearly is just stronger. It's got all the things you want to see. It's got great anatomy. All this some stuff, weird stuff going on with the arm, but it is kind of like a strange power he has. I love the sheen of the leather coats. I love the coloring. I mean, it's just a very strong piece. And it's bottom line, it's a strong piece. So, Mikey Art Book to me gets this round. Mikey Art Book or GZT Creations.
Mikey Art Book.
White, Mikey Art Book or GZT Creations.
Mikey Art Book.
Jay, Mikey Art Book or GZT Creations.
Mikey Art Book.
Mikey Art Book it is. Mikey, you may make the next round. People go vote if you're trying to save GZT Creations. Kingmaster Killer versus Ikaro. Kingmaster Killer brings us a Deku. So I guess I'll go on this. I'm beginning to forget who went when. Kingmaster Killer. This piece is a strong piece. A lot to like here. I love the sheen on the pants, even though this is colored pencil. Is this colored pencil, do you think? Or is this Copic? What is this?
Yeah, this is colored pencil. He did a really good job.
Yeah, really strong job with colored pencil. I mean, like the fact that this is a great exercise of coloring in general. Like, I mean, he's using colored pencil, but he's getting metal, he's getting sheen to like some like sort of spandex outfit. This is a really good piece. I've got some energy waves going on and so forth. So it's a cool piece. I'm a big fan of this piece overall. Let's see. White, I'm going to go to you for Kairo's Jujutsu Kaisen piece. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I think this is good. I haven't really watched the series as some people would expect, but overall, I'm feeling the vibe of the energy. It looks like something that I haven't seen. I don't know if I think that's like his logo, his kind of signature at the bottom. But overall, the drawing is nice. I like that it's dynamic. I also like that I feel like the line work is a little reminiscent of maybe some of the manga pages. I'm not 100% sure, but the style, he's trying to mimic the style at least to a degree. I like the chaos in the backgrounds. Overall, dynamic angle, nice coloring. Some work could be done with the face, even though we're not seeing the whole thing. I think it could still look much better. But aside from that, I think this looks strong.
See, I really appreciate this artist, Cairo.
Hey, not sure if Fred's still talking, but I can't hear him. So
I thought that was just me.
Hey, White, can you hear us still?
Yeah, I can hear you. He went like.
Here we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, so so I was saying the Ikaro piece. I like it a lot. I mean, I like the dynamism of the piece. Because I have seen the anime. I know what he's going for with this. I think it's called Black Flash. There's a lot here that one can like. There's a lot of cool stuff kind of being put into this. But for me, ultimately, I just think the other piece here, the Kingmaster Killer, is just more dynamic. It's got more elements into it that you want to see. I think it's just a much stronger piece, personally. So that is what's going to get my vote. I think this is just a much stronger piece, and I'm very much on board with Kingmaster Killer advancing in this matchup. Let me go to Michael. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't think My Hero aired in the 2021 season, but I'm still going to vote for him too.
Well, so fair enough. Well, okay, back up. It will. Season 5 is coming. So I said, but there was some things there that you're going to see some other people, I think, who kind of stretched it a little bit. In fact, one is very obvious stretch, but we'll get to that in a moment. So 2 for Kingmaster Killer. Jay?
Yeah, Kingmaster Killer.
All right, and White, Kingmaster Killer or Cairo?
Killer.
All right, Kingmaster Killer seems to have it. We'll see if he can pull it through. DKMB Studio versus Fleshy Suit. These names, boy. DKMB Studio. I'm going to go with Michael on this one. Michael, look at Attack on Titan and tell me what you think, buddy.
I think this is very spot on for both of these characters. I think the plain background actually works here because we're just looking at these two characters. The anatomy and Sasha's leg right here is throwing me off a little bit, but overall I really like the simple cell shading and just like how funny this piece looks.
All right. So that's DMKB Studio, and then Jay Oden, Fleshy Suit.
I like. I guess this is
what is this, Jay?
I
what
honestly
Fleshy Suit draw.
So
Jay?
honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. It's like, what is this?
Wonder Egg Priority.
Wonder Egg Priority. I've heard about that. It's supposed to be a big anime.
I've not seen it. So I mean, I'm interested. You know, I like this weapon. It looks very cool, very destructive. I do think that it looks really saturated. I'm not sure if that's what the anime just looks like. You know, so that kind of throws me off. All the gold is kind of blending in with the bottom of the the sky in the background. So that's kind of throwing me off. But overall, I mean, I think it's a fun piece. It looks like they had fun drawing it. You know, I like the attempt of you know, the angle that they're going for, but overall it's okay.
All right. Well, I gotta say, I've not seen Wonder Egg Priority. I've heard of it. I know it's a big new manga, a big new anime. Sorry. You know, so you know, obviously, I don't. You know, this is not necessarily the time to try to give out advice. I will say that what makes things like this difficult in tournaments like March of Madness. I talk about this a lot. I talked about it to these young people when they sign up for the tournament, but I say this all the time. The tournament winner, it always comes down, the person who wins comes down to the one who made the better choices. And what happens is that when you've got a new work, even though everyone might be talking about Wonder Egg Priority, if we've never seen it, it's really hard to judge, right? And in no way is it going to mean that you're going to not win this particular round at all. But what does happen is that it's really difficult to understand what we're looking at. Like when Jay says, as he said a few minutes ago, well, this is I like her weapon. I don't know what this is. This is a ship. Is it her soul? Is it some popular building? I have no idea of knowing what it is. And it's that little bit of not knowing from a judge perspective, which again, we're judges who actually make this type of content. So we are more apropos to speak on what you're doing. But just think, if we're struggling with it, what does the average person who's going to vote, where, you know, probably, you know, where a percentage of the votes come from, they're going to have a tough time also understanding what they're looking at. It just looks like a girl standing on a thing. So it's difficult. There's, you know, I think the choice here, I wouldn't have recommended this. And if you're going to use this, then I would have made it much more clear what you were doing. But regardless, I do like this piece a lot. I think there's a lot of energy to it. I love the composition of the girl. I like the color of whatever it is she's standing on, the yellow part behind her. Like, that looks really, really great. But I got to give it to DMKB Studio here. I love everything about this piece. I love the angle. I love the aspect of the characters. I love the anatomy. I mean, it seems like these characters all seem very much like proportionate. I love the style of it. I like this, like, very loose. I mean, like, it's got some strong line work, but it's not like sketchy. It's not like it's heavy. I mean, I love work like this from a personal level. I love the shading that's going on with the cell shading kind of going on a bit with the coat. I like this a lot. I think it's just a great piece, and I am. This is my vote to win this particular round between these two matchups. Michael, DMKB Studio or Fleshy Suit?
I'm going to go with Fleshy Suit just because I'm on top of Wonder Egg Priority.
All right, okay. Fleshy Suit or DMKB Studio, Jay?
DMKB Studios. I also like to say I like that potato in her hand. I think that's really cool.
Right. And White, DMKB Studio or Fleshy Suit?
I'll vote for DKMB Studio.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Old man.
Yeah, I am. DKMB Studio has 3, and Fleshy Suit has 1. I will give Fleshy Suit some points for the name. Fleshy Suit has 1. So, folks, you can save Fleshy Suit. Right now, 3 judges are going in the other direction. You can save it by going to vote. Please make sure you go out to vote. Voting will persist until 11:59 p.m. So please make sure you get out there and you vote tonight. Black Star Vidal versus Damon Drew this. Black Star Vidal. This is the one I was talking about. Like, there's no Demon Slayer happening right now, and not sure it's. I assume they have a new season this year. I know the movie's coming, but still. Black Star Vidal. White thoughts?
Yeah, I think it looks great. It's a simple drawing of the whole character, which is fine. Like even the background is kind of playing with the fire, so it's not like there's no background. It's one of those slightly abstract thing where there is some interaction with the character and the background with the fire. I like how he tries to have the fire from the lighting, like the lighting from the fire, shine on the character as well. Overall, I think this is a strong piece. Obviously, not exactly perfect, but I think maybe the fire itself could be a little closer to the anime counterpart. But overall, strong piece. I like it. I like the anatomy. I like the dynamic angle. Thumbs up.
All right. Okay. Next up, we have Damon drew this. Looks like I guess that's Fire Force versus. I know that one guy's from Jujutsu Kaisen. Jay, thoughts?
Yeah, I really like the action in this. It looks really cool. I like how we're about to just see this dude get punched in the face. I like um, the foreshortening as well. That's really cool. Overall, it's a pretty cool piece. I wish that. Honestly, no, yeah, I like this piece in total. I mean, everything about it is really cool to me. So,
So yeah, I love the color on the Black Star, but actually, this is the first time I actually can say I'm not in love with the color. The Damon drew this piece like that. The color just to me is too muted. Like, this is a high intensity action sequence. I would have loved to have seen some stronger color. I think the characters from Fire Force, the black character, I would have loved to have seen that yellow thing on the skin kind of pop off a bit more. Therefore having some more dynamic coloring so that really popped as it does in the anime. The coloring for this piece, even though I love the dynamism of it, I love the dynamism happening with it, it doesn't work for me because the color just kind of loses it for me. Whereas the Demon Slayer piece, again, I'm not sure it should even be in this list. Furthermore, I don't see the sword. I don't see the sword at all where the flame should be coming from. So that also doesn't work for me. But the coloring here is strong. You do get a good sense of the anime element with the character's face, Tanjiro, I think his name is. So this just edges it for me. I just wish the color were more dynamic on the other piece, considering how dynamic the image is. So for me, I'm going Black Star v. Dow. Now, Jay, thoughts?
yeah, I'm gonna go Diamond drew this.
All right, Diamond drew this. Michael, thoughts? Diamond drew this or Black Star Vidal?
I'm gonna go Black Star.
Black Star Vidal and White. Black Star Vidal or Damon drew this?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Black Star Vidal. Damon drew this. Like, I agree with what everybody's saying. It's a strong piece. The face looks a little on the Ogun, the Fire Force character could use a little more work. And the background, I think it's like just trees with like maybe some motion blur or whatever. But overall, just go Black Star Vidal. It's a really close one.
Black Star Vidal has 3, and Damon Drew this has 1. Folks, you can change that by voting. Don't forget. All right, Miserable Monk versus Elias Art 2. Miserable Monk here has B stars. This is Legosi and the young girl. I forget her name. I'm gonna go with Luther Vandross himself. Jay, how does this piece make you feel?
I like this a lot. The background just being black, I think that's really cool because it just brings out the characters. Their facial expressions are really cool. The way they colored this and how it just looks digitally painted, I think that's really awesome. Overall, this is a great piece. I wish I would watch this show. I have not, unfortunately. I've seen a little bit, so I probably would like this a lot more if I had watched it. But overall, I think it's really cool.
All right, next up we have Elias Art. This is I think Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, his eyes are light up and stuff. So White. You haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen. What do you make of this piece?
Yeah, I think this is interesting. The background has like the splatter effect and trying to do something interesting there. So do something with the background. Maybe some of these lighting, these balls mean something with Jujutsu. I don't know. I'm going to assume that they do. But overall, I think the drawing is pretty dope. I knew who the character was immediately. But ultimately, I think there could still be a lot of work to be done on, say, maybe the folds, the face, But overall, I still like the piece. I still think it's good.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been watching the anime. I can't tell you I understand a lick of what's going on with Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't think it's particularly a great story, but I do like the anime. I think the production is fantastic. That said, this piece for me, I get what they're trying to do with it. This is from his domain expansion, I think it's called. And he's got this really kind of strange one because none of the thing makes sense, folks. But I gotta say, I'm with Jay on the Miserable One piece. I think it's just a very subtle. First of all, this is where it comes down if you know the plot. I've also not seen the anime, but I know the plot, and it's Zootopia, meets anime, and then the kicker is that like the idea of these characters living as the way humans would, but still having their qualities as creatures means that Lugosi, who's a wolf, has this relationship with this girl who, of course, she's a rabbit. So they're two different creatures, right? One's an herbivore, one's a carnivore. Lugosi has to fight his urges. They play it as more of a teen romance, but also kind of a sexual thing. But there is a death that happens in the school. I won't spoil it, but there is a death that happens, and it begins to make the classmates not trust each other. So I love every bit of detail that Ms. Monk put in here, including the blood on the ground. I just thought that was such a beautiful touch to this. So I think it's a very clever use of space. I mean, obviously, this is not a complicated image. There's not a lot of backgrounds here, simple black background. So this, to me, is a bunch of strong choices that really work for this piece. So my vote for this matchup is Miserable Monk. Michael, Miserable Monk or Elias Art?
Miserable Monk.
Jay, Miserable Monk or Elias Art?
Miserable Monk.
And White, Miserable Monk or Elias Art?
Yeah, I like it both, but I'll go Monk.
All right, so Miserable Monk it is. If you guys want to save Elias Art, please go vote. Mode 3 Black versus the Mint Zone. This is the last matchup in Clock Striker. Mode 3 Black. Michael, talk.
I really like the lighting here. I think this is really beautiful, like the lens flare coming from the sun and then down on the hammer. I haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen, so I don't really know the character too well. But overall, I think the rendering is really cool. I think the background's a literal picture of a sky, so I actually think it works kind of well with this piece. But yeah, I think it's a really cool piece.
That's interesting, actually. That's interesting. Okay. The Mint Zone. Since most of you guys have not watched Jujutsu Kaisen, I'll take this one. This is Sukuna. He is the demon character. Again, this is folks, Jujutsu Kaisen is literally Naruto meets Bleach, like literally. So he is like the demon fox that lives inside of our hero. And this is from a scene where he takes the heart out of the character that he's inhabiting, just to prove that he doesn't care what happens to him. And Itadori, I think is the name of the guy's character. And so, really interesting scene. I love the fact that they're playing into that particular scene from the anime. Not quite the way it happened in the anime, because you didn't see Sukuna doing it. But nonetheless, really interesting. Very interesting image. I like the dramatic nature of it. This is one of those images where the dramatic element, the intensity of the element, is really sold by color choice and by the way they frame the angle of the action. I like this a lot. That said, in terms of the matchup, I think Mode 3 Black edges it. This is a really strong piece. The camera angle is dynamic. I don't know what's going on in the background. I wouldn't have known it was a real image, but maybe it is. But I love this character can create kind of energy weapons off of nails and a hammer, and I love how this artist nails all those pieces. This is a strong piece, and the anatomy is really good considering this is a dynamic pose angle from an hand-side view up. Dynamic hand-side view, because obviously the character is probably a little up from the ground. He's not directly on the ground, but I like this a lot. Mode 3 Black for me advances from this matchup versus the Mint Zone. Jay, Mode 3 Black or the Mint Zone?
Mode 3 Black.
Michael, Mode 3 Black or the Mint Zone?
Mode 3 Black.
And White, Mode 3 Black or the Mint Zone?
Mode 3 Black, and I do think that the background, I don't think is actually a picture. I think it might be painted, or at least if it was a picture, maybe slightly edited. But I have a feeling it's actually painted.
All right. Okay. Well, there we go. All right, folks. 3 down, 1 more to go. Oh, sorry, no, we're not. We got one more matchup. Illustration versus C. Burnos. Illustration, White. Talk to me about Illustration's art here.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of like a Pokemon evolution of the character or something. We'll go from Aaron to Titan, and that has to be something else. I haven't seen
it either. I'm like, what is that happening?
It's from the manga.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third season yet, and I know the fourth is currently going on, or it's finished. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I 100% get what's going on. I think the muscles, especially on the second one, pretty strong. The anatomy, I think, is pretty strong. The drawing is pretty straightforward. I understand what's going on. The painting, all of that. I think everything here pretty much works. Maybe a few things could be better here and there. Like maybe the hair, I think, could be better on the Titans. But overall, I like what I'm seeing.
All right, okay, and the matchup here is against C. Burnos. This is also the character. I think it's like Nana or something like that from Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm gonna give this to Jay. Jay, talk us through this, Jay.
So first off, the background I love. I think there's so much detail. It's really, really cool. I do think that the perspective's off. Especially with that garage door in the background. However, I think that it still works with the style that they're going for. I like that there's a person or some type of demon in the background. That was really cool. It just kind of pops out. I really like the lights in the background with the cityscape, landscape, and all that. And lastly, I really, really like the lighting from the what's it called, the moped or whatever on like her clothes and stuff. I think that they did a very good job with that. So overall, I really like this picture. My vote's gonna go to this. So just a heads up.
Folks, now he's trying to speed up the way things work. He is angling for some Terryfold. He is pushing for some Terryfold, ladies and gentlemen. This man is desperate for some Terryfold to occur. So I couldn't agree with Jay more. I did notice the minute I saw this image, I actually didn't even notice the girl at first. I mean, I noticed it, but the very first thing I clued in on was the demon in the background. I just thought, wow, that's really cool. Like that's just a deep cut of that. I like this a lot. I think it's a great piece. I love the fact that she's got groceries on the moped as well, or like some bags that are carrying things. I just really like this, and I don't know C. Burnos. I don't know where they're from, but this really does capture like a good side street of Japan if you've ever been there, especially if you've been to like a major city. I like this piece a lot. That said, the illustration piece also, I love the color on them, kind of white. I love the color. I didn't know what I was looking at because I only know the first season or so of Attack on Titan. I never quite got into it past that. Even though I know it's strong, I've got some issues with it, but I do like what I see in this piece. I think it's just very expressive. I do love the 3 versions of the character, and it's really strong. So I think these are both really strong. It's tough to choose a winner on this one. If I had to go with one, I would go C. Burnos, just because there was so much detail in this piece, and that's just really, really, you gotta give some credit to that. Michael, C. Burnos or Illustration?
C. Burnos.
And White, Illustration or C. Burnos?
C. Burnos was a close, very close.
Yeah, it's very, very close. C. Burnos seems to have the edge here, but folks, you can make the difference. Go and vote. We'll give you guys the details at the very end. All right, we've got 3 down, 1 more to go, folks. We're about to hit this last one, and we've been making some good times. We should be done here within the next 20 minutes. So, folks, let's tell you about one of our other sponsors. It's Just Sketch Me. Now, if you've seen some of these images, you thought to yourself, man, I love that image. Just wish they maybe framed it a little bit better. That's called, you want to see a more dynamic pose. You want to see it rendered correctly. And that means you need to have a tool. Some people need all sorts of tools to help them get through it. Some people use toys, like the little mannequin type figures and so forth. Some people use, they can just look at like a reference material and then create that exactly. Some people, though, want to have an actual 3D posing software. This will integrate with really any type of platform that you use. Certainly for a Wacom tablet and Clip Studio Paint, you have all sorts of great options, including Just Sketch Me. Now, we know for a fact they're about to come out with an app that you'll be able to also use on your mobile device, smartphone, and or tablet. But we can tell you guys, This is a 3D pose tool. A lot of our artists use it. It is fantastic. It allows you to pose all sorts of character iterations. You can also add multiple characters to a piece. We've heard from one of our artists, and it's got one of the best software features in terms of being able to pose hands and fingers. So, folks, this is a really great software, and the best part is that it is completely affordable. You can even go there and try it for free and get a number of poses for free without having to pay anything. We highly recommend you do that, folks. Go check it out at www.justsketch.me. Justsketch.me. And feel free to check out our Instagram. We post things featuring some of the artwork generated from user software regularly. Jay's used it. A lot of our artists have used it. Highly recommend you check it out. We want to thank the folks from Just Sketch Me for supporting this year's March Art Madness. All right, our final round. Team Hammer. Jay, how are you feeling, sir?
I feel proud. I feel proud.
Jay, I've seen some really good artists here. I mean, every group's had some really great artists.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. When I got to this team and I was writing down everybody that I wanted to vote for, it was a lot more difficult. Mainly because I'm biased, obviously, but also because there was just so much talent. So I'm really excited.
Well, folks, Hammer, of course, is a fantastic series where Clock Striker was Shonen Manga's first Black female lead character. Hammer is a really classic story told with some great modern sensibilities. This is a young man searching for his father. All he has is his journal, and he's using it to transport to these fantasy worlds to get more details on his father. He's going to come across all sorts of crazy characters. But here's the thing, folks. Stud, our main character, has an ability. So if he does get into trouble and get into bad situations, he's able to fight back because he can turn his body into metal and turn his hands into hammers. So it's a very fun, very expressive series. Jay's artwork reminds you of people like Oda, even a little bit of Walt Kelly. So you're going to really love this if you're a classic American comic book fan or manga fan. You're going to love Hammer. Check it out. And don't forget, Jay's also created Lemonade Code, which Oni Press has out right now. So, folks, let's get to this and see which one of Jay's people is going to ultimately fail in the contest because they're going to get beaten by Team Clock Striker. Their theme is Avatar. They got to create artwork featuring any of the avatars. We mean the avatars, not the other characters from this series. Now, folks, you don't know Avatar is going to be returning in a brand new series, in a brand new animated movie on the new streaming service Paramount Plus. So very interesting information about that. We'll see if the two creators who have done some really amazing work can pull that off. I personally love Legend of Korra. So is Namakin versus Ofo Dude? These names. We'll start off with Michael. Michael, this is Namakin. Who are we looking at?
We're looking at Korra right here. I think this is really cool and like how stylized this is. I really like the effects of the fire and the water on the side, and the lighting effect coming from the top right hand corner is really dynamic. I don't know if I would have done that like repetition effect in the background with Korra's face like copy and pasted again, but overall I think this is a really strong piece.
All right, okay, and then the opponent here is Ofo Dude. And Jay, would you like to comment on Ofo Dude?
Yeah. So, I love the fire in the background. I love the fact this is Roku, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or Riku.
I have the slightest idea.
I haven't watched the show in a really long time, so I unfortunately am going to forget some of the names. But I know that this is the fire avatar, the one right before Aang, and I really like how he's doing this. This reminds me of the scene where he and I forgot all these names, but the king, the Fire Lord, they were taking down a volcano. This reminds me of that scene. I really like the fact that it's super warm, all the red and all the yellows and stuff. I think that's really cool, and I really, really enjoy that cool, fresh of air just coming from his mouth. I think that's just a really cool way of kind of like leading the eye to his face, so that way you can see the rest of the picture. I don't know. Does that make sense? Oh, I like this picture a lot. I like this picture a lot.
I do like this picture as well. Just as an inside thing, when I was putting this deck together, I had Jackie Rindy, who's one of our great staff members. She helped put some of the teams together. I think she did this team. And I remember when I was reviewing it, I thought, man, this is a really stretched image here. I don't know if this is stretched, but something doesn't seem quite right with this piece. It does seem a bit like the proportions seem a bit off here. I could be wrong. Maybe just I'm getting old, my eyes are deceiving me, but there's something here doesn't quite seem like it lines up quite the way that it should. So that kind of took me out of it. Because I personally actually love the art style, but something about just the way that everything just feels kind of pulled apart. It doesn't feel quite as compact and as natural as it should. This piece, however, feels completely natural. Everything works with it. I love the flame in the background. I don't know the character. I love the core series. I don't know who this character is, but I do like how this looks overall. So I'm going to say my edge here is going to go to Ofo Dude. Ofo Dude for me wins this matchup. Jay, who do you feel wins this matchup?
Yeah, same here. Ofo Dude.
Michael, Ofo Dude or Is Namakin?
I think I'm going to go for Is Namakin.
Okay, and White, Is Namakin or Ofo Dude?
Ofo.
Ofo Dude. Ofo Dude's got 3. Is Namakin has 1. You guys can make the difference. Saint Dam, love these names, versus Oblivious 334. Saint Dam. This is I've seen this character, so I know she's one of the original folks. So White Manga, talk to me, sir. What do you make of this?
I think this is a strong image. I like the simplicity of it. Very soft kind of colors, and kind of reminds me of maybe one of those. I don't know if they're Chinese, but I don't know what they are. But overall, I like the image. I like the anatomy of the hand, holding the fans. I like what's happening in the background. Abstract, simple. But yeah, overall, the flat coloring, I think, lends the whole piece sort of an advantage. Basically, just a positive touch and positive approach. And I like the piece.
All right, and I'll take the next one, Oblivious 334. I love this piece. This is Aang. I really love this piece. I think it's dynamic. It's just really, really, really strong, stylized even. And this is one where obviously there's some stuff. Like you see that hand, it kind of looks strange the way it is. Obviously, it is correct in terms of it's correct in terms of the positioning, but it is strange just the way it looks. But it's stylized, and I think this artist chose to go in a stylized direction here with a dynamic angle, and I think it works dramatically. Now, that's not to take anything away from Saint Dam. This is a beautiful piece right here. I just love the softness of it. I love the colors. I love the fact that everything looks really, really, really dynamic without being stylized in the case of what Oblivious 334 did. This is a tough one for me. I think I give the edge to Oblivious 334 just because I think it's hard to do a dynamic angle and still maintain any sort of clarity. We've seen a couple of people try it and they kind of lose their way with it. I think this is a really strong piece, but I gotta say, like, if I could share the votes, I would certainly say Saint Dam gets this as well. But for me right now, it's Oblivious 334. White, Oblivious 334 or Saint Dam?
Yeah, I was torn for a long time, but I think just a few moments before this, I'm going Saint Dam.
Saint Dam, okay. Jay, Saint Dam or Oblivious 334?
Yeah, I totally agree with White. This was really, really tough. I'm gonna go with Saint Dam now because I just like the softness.
Saint Dam it is. So Saint Dam 2, Oblivious 334 1, and Michael?
I'm also very torn. I think I'm going to lean towards Oblivious, though.
Oblivious 334. So it's 2-2, folks. So you can make the difference here, folks. Go vote. You can make the difference. All right, Drawn Up Comics versus Lumiki Dart, or Lumi Kid Dart, or Lumi Kid Art. Drawn Up Comics. This is certainly Legend of Korra. It looks like a number of the people in the background. I will let Jay take this one. Jay, thoughts?
So I wanted the next one, but I'll take it. I do like this a lot. I would say when it comes to the actual what they were supposed to do is create a different design that's for this world. Correct? It wasn't necessarily just drawing fan art.
We'll say what?
They were supposed to do another design, right? Like a new design for this character. Is that what they were supposed to do, or is it like
no? They're supposed to draw fan art of any of the avatars.
Okay, well, I was under the impression that it was them drawing a new design for that particular avatar. So with that said,
No, I said they could imagine it could be any avatar from the past. They could imagine an avatar from the future. I don't think anyone did that, but.
Okay. All right. Well, long story short, I like this image a lot. I think it looks really clean. It looks like a coloring book. It looks like something that I would see like in stores. So because of that, I also really like how they're all doing their elements. Aang with the airball that he's on, and everybody else doing everything else. So I think that this looks really, really cool. Overall, this will get my vote. I like this one a lot. So.
All right. Michael, you take the one that Jay supposedly wanted here. Jay's choosing who we give him. Who's he think he is, Michael? Go ahead, Mike. What do you make of Lumi Kid Dart?
This is like if Aang went Ultra Instinct or used like All for One's power. There's like this lightning effect, which is pretty cool. I don't think it's like actually lightning in the actual show, but I like the dragon going around here, and like I think the composition's cool. Like I like that they took a risk. And there's like these like the Air Nation tattoo for some reason is here, and there's like 3 arrows this time, and Momo in the back, of course. But yeah, I like this piece a lot because of how much like freedom they used. Or I didn't word that right, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I agree with what you got to say. I think it's another really, really tough one because this artist, did try to do something unique and different. And there's some things here that don't quite work. I think some of the fingers look a bit kind of strange here, and the pose to me seems a tad stiff. I'm not quite sure the abs quite work the way he thinks they do, but at the same time, like he said, there's so much pieces and so much character and such. But Drawn Up Comics is the same thing. She's got 3 different avatars in the background. I will say, or this person, I don't know if it's a she or not. I will say this looks so accurate that that and we've seen this in the past with people. They literally just take. They'll take artwork that exists from previous things and they'll just replicate it to a T because this looks so perfect to Korra and Legend of Korra characters and depictions of the characters. So I don't quite know what to say on this. I think these are both two very complicated in terms of they put a lot of material into the piece itself. But I have to give the edge to Drawn Up Comics because it just looks so perfect to the anime. I can't see any natural glitches or glaring things that are off, as opposed to the Lumi Kid art. Like I said, there's a couple things about the fingers. Those backgrounds are a bit sketchy, but still, there's so much being attempted here. Like, hats off for him trying all these things. So I would be happy if either one of these guys survived, but. My edge is Drawn Up Comics. White, what do you make of this? Drawn Up Comics or Lumi Kid art?
Drawn Up.
Okay. Michael?
Drawn Up.
Jay?
Drawn Up.
All right. Okay. Element 118 versus Jacob SM Art. Element Stone 18. So White, this is how I see you, White. I see you like this pleasant little girl. So talk to me. What do you think?
Well, I'll just wash you with the water then. Let me see. I think I like the colors. I like the colors. I like how the sun, not the I guess the moon or whatever it is like hitting the character. I like how it's colored. I like the cool mood of the whole illustration. You can clearly get the vibe of the style, the vibe of just the overall setting. Even the sketchiness in the background kind of works. I could totally see this approach being damn near perfect for, say, maybe a children's illustration book or something like that. So a few things here and there that maybe are not perfect, be nitpicky and stuff, but overall, I think this is a really strong piece.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Jacob SM Art. I'm gonna let Jay have this one. Jay, what do you make of this?
Everything about this piece is amazing. I love the rocks breaking apart. I love the water flowing around her. I love the fire. Her anatomy looks really cool. The only thing I could possibly say, just nitpicky wise, is the mountains in the background or waves. I'm not sure exactly what they would be, but maybe just like clarify that a little more, or just get rid of them entirely. One of the two. But overall, I think this entire piece looks phenomenal. I'm gonna give my vote to this.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's another tough one. I think you may have the group of death, Jay. I will agree because you got a lot of artists who are very
I
talented. I
told you,
mean,
man. I told you.
I know. I really like this piece. You know, I actually didn't see really anything wrong with this. I mean, it's stylized. It's cartoony. I mean, I didn't see anything with this that made me think like, oh, okay, this could have been done better. Like this artist clearly has a style of this nature, and everything I think this artist did captures that style perfectly. I would totally read this comic if this was a comic, but then this is just super detailed, gorgeous. Unlike the drawn up comics one, which I do like a lot. Again, that one looks so accurate to what the anime actually looks like. I'm like, damn, you know, this one though clearly is an artist's interpretation and is ultra detailed, but I still know exactly what I'm looking at, and it's just really attractive. So I like this a lot. Jacob SM art gets my vote. Michael, Jacob SM art or Elements
Jacob.
Stone 18. Jacob White, Jacob SM art or Element Stone.
Element.
Element Stone for White, 3 for Jacob SM art. Folks, you can make the difference. Go vote. T Bro art versus DD Mark. T Bro art. I'll speak on this one. This is a fantastic piece. I don't know who this guy is, but it looks gorgeous. I love the detail in the. First of all, let's just comment on the fact that as I've said before, I love detail. I love when people can do things with simple line work without having to put a lot of effort into it. And I don't know how this person created the artwork, but I love the fact that every line here seems purposeful and it works and it provides a lot of detail without being overly illustrated. I love the face here. I love the hair. I love the costume with the wrinkles and stuff going on in the costume. This is a strong piece, and again, showing you how much detail you can put into something that is only a limited piece of the body. This is just like at best, you know, part of the shoulder up. I mean, the part of the chest up, and yet this fills up the entire page, and you don't miss anything. You don't think of yourself. You need backgrounds and so forth with light up eyes. This is a great piece. The opponent, DD Mark, has another really strong piece. Michael, DD Mark.
I like the vision here with like having Korra bent over to waterbend, and I think the background was a strong choice to use this like aurora, whatever that word is for the sky, where it's all lit up, and
Aurora Borealis.
that is the word. Yeah, I think this is a really cool piece. The color palette's a little muted, like for my taste, because like the background's a little saturated. But yeah, overall, I don't really see too much to nitpick about on this piece.
All right, so DD Mark or T Bro Art. So Jay, T Bro Art or DD Mark.
This was also very tough. I'm gonna say T Bro art though because of everything you said.
All right. Why? You know, I'm not gonna let you vote on this one, right?
Yeah, I was about to say. Once it got to
Yeah.
my turn, I was like, I can't vote for this one.
I know. So I was gonna let you vote on this one. Fred knows all, so I wasn't gonna let you vote on this one. Yeah, my vote would be T Bro Art. I really like what DD Mark here did. I think it's fantastic. These are again, it's a group of deaf. It's a really talented artist. I love the style of this. I love the pose. I love the hand. I'm a big hand guy. I love the hands here. I love the way he's got her fingers just subtly curled and just in a right pose as she's kind of making the waves work and so forth. I love this piece so very much. But the T-Bro art, you know, this is just a really solid piece here. I'd be comfortable with either one of these artists going through. I'm going to give my swing to T-Bro art, but boy, I really like what DD Mark here has done. It's a really strong piece. And you guys can help make the difference. Please go vote and make your vote count by going to www.saturday-am.com/madness. All right. Clementine Lives versus Dad Sweater. Clementine Lives. So I'm going to let White, I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, this is really good. It reminds me of like a clip from like an anime opening, maybe some kind of like a Samurai Champloo type thing. I like the brush effect. I like what's going on here. Can't really recognize characters as much, but I'm sure that's Aang in there in the back. But yeah, overall, I like this. It's kind of artsy. Gets the job done. It's pretty clear. Simple colors on purpose. I can tell it's on purpose. Pleasant to look at.
All right, and we then have Dad Sweater. This is a Gangster Aang. So Michael, talk to me about Gangster Aang here. He looks very upset. His pants aren't sagging.
Yeah, I think this is a good attempt. I like the like effect in the back, kind of like this blurred like airbending kind of.
Mhm.
I think there's some like anatomy issues here a little bit, and like the background choice of the elements. Like, yeah, it's definitely stylized though with like this facial expression. So I like the attempt at that.
All right. Yeah, both of these pieces I think are really fun pieces. This piece, very subtle, not a lot of heavy stuff going on to it. I like the energy and the character. It's expressive. Obviously, it's a bit removed. Like I said, again, I was making the joke, but it doesn't feel like Aang, right? Because it's just so expressive. It feels very of the artist stylistically, but doesn't capture Aang exactly. Then with this piece, this doesn't really capture Aang either. I'm not quite sure what's going on here in terms of the avatars in general. I do love, as White said, this is a really gorgeous illustration, and it feels like an illustration. And so, for that reason, because it feels like an illustration, there's some artistic stuff going on here. There's different characters. Not quite sure what any of this actually means or what they're really getting at. I think the best I can make out is that the character at the bottom is like a father to Korra, perhaps. I'm not sure. But I think it is rendered very well. I think both pieces are rendered very well, but I think this piece is rendered well, artistic way. This Clementine Lives is going to get my vote. White, Clementine Lives or Dad Sweater?
Clementine.
Jay, Clementine Lives or Dad Sweater?
Clementine.
Michael, Clementine Lives or Dad Sweater?
Clementine.
All right, so Clementine Lives does a sweep. And we're at, I think, our final few here. Sir Dune versus Sleepy Dreams SLD. Sir Dune has, I don't know who this is. I'm going to let, I'm going to let you comment on this one. I don't know who this is. What do you make of this?
No idea. I don't think I've not watched. Well, no, I actually have, but I haven't like watched that much of Avatar and Korra. So not too sure who this is. I'm sure somebody in the comments will be yelling. So, but overall, this looks like a very energetic piece. I like how the colors are rendered, the shading, the muscles, all of it. Also, kind of gives even just without the red eyes, you can already tell that it's a dark character. And then the flames, I think, are rendered pretty well. The anatomy, I think the anatomy is pretty good. The face could be better, but overall, still pretty good. Dynamic angle, all that. This looks pretty good for me.
All right. Okay. Jay, Sleepy Dreams SLL or SS. Sleepy Dreams LD. What do you make of this?
Yeah. So this is Sokka's first girlfriend. I forgot her name. Yuna or Uni. Yeah, she was.
Wait. Tell me, who's the first character?
I want to say that's Vatu.
It was the Dark Avatar.
Yeah. Because I can recognize that symbol, but I'm not sure. I don't remember the actual face or anything like that. I think it looks cool, but yeah.
It was Korra's uncle, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Anyway, when it comes to Sokka's other girlfriend, I forgot her name, but she looks really cool. I like it's very stylized. Her face looks a lot different than what it was in anime, but you can still tell that it's her. I like that there's the moon behind her. I do think that the moon gets kind of lost just because of I guess her hair and like the other things coming from her. They're essentially the same type of color. Obviously the moon's a little bit more cooler, more blue and stuff. But ultimately, I think it looks really cool. And yeah.
Well, I will say that I think these are both really great pieces, very different pieces. As I've said many times in this episode, the fingers. I always look at fingers because it's a really hard thing to pull off, and I always love people who attempt them because they've got more skills than I got, and Sleepy Dreams has more skill than I have. Although I do not love these fingers; they stand out to me as being one of the weaker things. And by having it in the foreground, it's like I'm just kind of like, wait a minute, why is that one finger? Like, what is that one finger doing? I can't get that out of my head. I do love the softness of this piece, very similar to Saint Dam. I just love the softness of this piece. I just love seeing a strong female character without having to look be in an action situation. So I love so much of this piece. That finger just takes me out of it, and I then come back to the Sir Dune piece, which just seems so energetic, even though I'm not quite sure what's going on with his waist. His waist seems very strange to me. So both these pieces, again, are very good. I think the artists are very talented. Minor mistakes kind of stand out to me, make it difficult for me to quite get into it, but I think I'm probably going to swing to Sir Dune on this one. I love the flame effect, and obviously the detail is so intense. There's a lot of stuff going on here that's it's hard to argue that this person, was able to do a lot of interesting things artistically, if not perfectly. He still was attempting a lot of things in this one piece. So Sir Dune gets my vote. White, Sir Dune, or Sleepy Dreams?
Yeah, I like them both. I really like them both. The finger doesn't bother me as much, but I see what you're talking about in the pinky, right? But I'll go Dune.
Okay. 2 for Sir Dune. Michael, Sleepy Dreams or Sir Dune?
Sir Dune.
Jay, Sir Dune or Sleepy Dreams?
I'm gonna go with Sir Dune.
Sir Dune. So 4 for Sir Dune. Guys, Sleepy Dream is obviously very talented. You guys can help save her. Go and vote. All right, I believe this is one of the last ones here. Yamashiri versus someone who did not submit. So I will take this one. And this is the last one, actually. And I don't know who this guy is. I like this art a lot. Again, this is really simple line work, not a lot of heavy line work. Obviously, there's some stiffness here, some stuff doesn't quite fit out. His head seems to be a bit tad small. The flame effects do not work for me at all. The background is interesting, but it's conflicting and fighting with so much of what's happening in the foreground, even though it shouldn't, because it's a type of background that's not particularly very dramatic, but it is conflicting, especially with these effects, these flame effects. It's just like peering right through it, and you're like, wait a minute, like, why is this stuff peering through this flame in that manner? Flame could be a bit more intense. The red costume is more intense than the flame. So there's stuff here that kind of bothers me a bit, but obviously I think these artists, as all these artists are, very, very talented. It's a shame they didn't have a competitor in it. We'll talk in a moment about what happens to these folks who didn't have a competitor and for folks who were in tight races. But for right now, I think, obviously I'd love to see more from this person if they get enough votes. Jay, thoughts? Anything that you disagree with?
No, same here. Everything as you said is pretty spot on. But I would like to see more from them. Especially if they hear our criticisms and take it to heart and try to get better in the next one.
Michael?
Yeah, I think this is the first attempt at an original Avatar, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they produce next time.
Let me just say up front, man, boy, am I glad we had Michael in this chat. Because he's telling me something like, is it? Wow. I think that was so-and-so's dad. Like, Michael, you've been a godsend, my friend. We need you for all Avatar-related questions. White, thoughts?
Yeah, it's a decent attempt, and obviously there's stuff that could be done better. Like could use a little more contrast, the fire, and
there's no shading on the costume at all. There's zero.
Yeah, so stuff here and there. The actual line work and positioning, of the face looks pretty good. It's a decent attempt, and I'm sure they'll get better.
All right, so that's what we've got, folks. So, folks, we have gone through all of these, and you are in a position to make the difference. Now, I want to talk real quickly as we wrap up here as to how this is going to play out. Now, first and foremost, 70% of the vote will come from judges. Now, we are judges, and we make up a percent of that 70%. Other staff members and artists of Saturday AM also will be set up to judge for this event, and we will take their extra vote. So with that being the case, it's super important, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys to go and vote. You've got a little bit of time left. You've got about 2.5 hours left. Please go and vote. Get your friends and family out there to go vote. We've already got a number of great individuals that came and voted. And please make sure when you vote for the entire team. You don't have to vote for every team, but if you're there to vote for a particular creator that you really want to see succeed, whether it's someone you know or not, if you just recognize great talent, that's great. Please make sure you fill the whole thing out. We won't accept entries that are just one vote, nor we accept entries where it seems like someone came in and they just checked off every, person on the left because the person that wanted to vote for was on the left, they just voted for everyone on the left. We will check those entries as well. So, folks, please, if you want to do the best job, just come in. It doesn't take very long. It's at most probably about 5 minutes. If you know what you're looking at, you go in, you vote, and you're good to go. There's a couple extra questions in there. It helps us out. Now, we're going to be, obviously, 30% of the vote, therefore, comes from fans. So your votes will play a role. So it's imperative for you to vote. You can truly, literally make the difference of someone not making it through. Now, there weren't anything that cost them points this week. However, because we did have some dropouts, then what we will be doing is because we need to have even elements here. So we will be adding folks who maybe lost in the rounds but received enough votes, despite losing against their opponent, that we will retain them to balance out the field as we move into the next round. We need 32 artists, and we will get 32 artists. So some artists who you may have liked, but like, man, I'm torn, like we were tonight. You can still make that happen. Make sure you get out there, get some people out there to go vote. Get a friend, get a family member, get another lover of great artwork and great diverse manga, and get them out to our site to vote. The site is www.saturday-am.com/madness. Now, we have one alternate, and this artist is named Toko Arts. And if everyone in this group agrees for Toko Arts to continue, then they will continue, and that will take one of those slots that is missing, which I think right now is about 6. So if that being the case, here is Toko Arts' work. This is clearly Black Clover, and I believe it's all Black Clover, but I'm going to begin with Michael. Michael, Black Clover, what do you think?
I really like the contrast in this piece with like pitch black sword and Asta, how like he's like aged up a little bit. I think this is really cool. It's like really reminiscent of a manga panel, and like I like the grayscale shading. Overall, I just think this works really well.
White, what do you make of this, sir?
Yeah, I think this is great. The composition of everything, the pose, all of that is great. Could be a little more detail and precision with the background if you're going to do it. Seems pretty quick, but for the most part, the way things are placed, overall, could be better here and there, but overall, I think it's real good.
All right, and Jay.
So overall, I think it looks really good. However, I'm looking at it and it's making me think of the guy in the background. Reminds me of that one Jaguar guy that Ichigo had to fight, and that one pose that he's in looks exactly like a pose that he made, as well as also Asta's pose. It looks like another pose that Ichigo made. So other than that, that's kind of bothering me. But everything else, it looks really cool. It looks like a manga panel. I like it other than that.
That is interesting because I was going to say, yeah, I mean, like Asta has aged up in his manga, and he's still short. This guy looks really tall. He is short, and he's really muscular. And this guy is not muscular. He's tall, at least from the angle that we see here. And so I did think to myself, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I did. That's interesting. I agree. Okay, well. I believe, we'll see with Toko Arts, but I believe, we all believe this person has talent. Some questions, obviously, is to, and folks, and stuff always comes out, folks, so be very careful if you do see something that influences you, which is easy to get influenced by stuff. If you see something that influences your art and then, it looks too similar to something, it can backfire on you, so just be careful on that. But I do think we all agree at Toko Arts here is some talent. We love the grayscale. We'd love to see more from Toko Arts, so they will most likely will accept or will replace one of those 6 individuals who failed to release content to us. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is concluding our event tonight. Saturday AM, of course, is the world's most diverse manga anthology. Don't stop supporting us. Please go check out our content. We have so much amazing stuff. We have great creators like White Manga and Jay Oden. White Manga's got 2 graphic novels. We're about to release his 3rd. We have over 150 issues of continuous released content. Our creators all own their own work, and we're about to debut a brand new app. We have one app out already called Saturday AM Global Comics. Our second app will be called Pilot Manga by Saturday AM, and will feature even more original content, plus some great new opportunities for artists to get discovered. So, folks, if you want to support diversity in the manga community, if you want to support independent comic creators, then there's only one brand that truly does that, and that is Saturday AM. So please check us out, www.saturday-am.com. So round 1 is complete. You guys can go and vote by midnight tonight. Winners will be announced tomorrow about midday, and those winners will also be presented with their latest themes they have to draw and their latest matchups. With that being said, I want to go real quickly around the horn. and just get final thoughts from everybody. So, Michael is our youngest person here. Thoughts? What did you think of this round one?
I thought there were a lot of strong artists, and I appreciate everyone taking the time to like do their best work and to even participate and support us.
Very well said, Mr. J. Oden. Thoughts?
Thank you again for participating. Thank you for, just trying as hard as you can, and we really appreciate you, loving Saturday AM. Thanks again. I can't wait to see the new art in the next round. I think it's gonna be really cool.
All right, and then last but not least, White Manga. Would you like to say anything, sir?
Oh yeah, I think it was fun. I think everybody did a great job, and can't wait to see how we move forward. Remember, guys, if you come against someone who's more talented, just bribe them not to show up. You'll be good.
All right, folks. Well, again, my name is Frederick. I'm the founder and publisher of Saturday AM, the world's most diverse manga anthology, and I so very much appreciate it. This is round one. Now, folks, next week, we most likely will do round two. It'll be 32 artists. We'll probably do that on our on Saturday night. So we look forward to you all attending. And this video, for those of you, obviously this video was complicated at the beginning, so this video will be posted here shortly on our YouTube channel, and we look forward to hopefully you all watching it and learning something about some of the artists, and hopefully learning something about ourselves and our platform. We had artists this year from Peru and Nigeria, Ireland, Australia, so on and so forth. So we could not be more excited this year's tournament. This is truly the world's toughest art tournament. With that, the world's most diverse manga anthology, Saturday AM, myself, Frederick Jones, our artists, White Manga, Monitor Comics, Jay Oden, our staff members, Chris Burns, creator of, Chris, what's the name of your comic you're doing?
It's called Chikara Power of God.
It's called Chikara Power of God. So, folks, Chikara Power of God, check that out. But also, Chris is doing some amazing videos for us, and we're super excited to have a chance to work with Chris on these videos. And then, of course, we have Jackie Rindy. Jackie, you want to say hello to everybody real quick?
Hello. Thanks for watching, guys.
Awesome. All right, folks, we're gonna head out.